Just a little over a decade ago, we were playing in some highly contested football games against Elon, so it's going to be a big, exciting day here at The Rock.
Sean Clark, the head coach of App State, coaching his 15th game as the leader of the black and gold. For the first time, he sees a full complement of fans in his home stadium. Can you talk a little bit about just what that means for the leader of a program that's matched the consistency of winning to finally see what it all looks like when it looks perfect?
You know what? He's Mr. Consistency, and he is Appalachian State football. You think about this guy. He's 46-15 as a player at Appalachian State. He's 43-10 as an assistant coach and head coach. You talk about two of the more successful seasons in Appalachian history. 1995 when they went 12-0. Sean Clark was a player. You fast forward to 2019, David Jackson. That team went 13-1. Sean was the offensive line coach and the co-offensive coordinator. So he is Appalachian. He's been around Appalachian for a while. He knows the tradition. He knows the toughness that it takes to play here. He knows the togetherness that it takes. He is Mr. Appalachian.
11 wins so far in guiding this program, one of the winningest of all FBS programs over the last 5 years. He'll try to do it on the home field here at Kidd Brewer Stadium this afternoon against an old Southern Conference foe in the Phoenix of Elon. We're back to Kidd Brewer Stadium right after this. Here in Boone, North Carolina today, David Jackson alongside Avery Hall. We are glad you are with us for the Kidd Brewer Stadium opener for Appalachian State as they take on again an old rival in the Elon Phoenix. Tony Trisciani, the head coach of the Phoenix in his third season, 7-12 overall. And Avery, you look at this Elon program, it's got all the DNA of a powerhouse Colonial Athletic Association team.
I tell you, they're big up front, even though they're young. They've got talent in the backfield on the offensive side. They've got a very good quarterback in Davis Cheek, who's been pulling the trigger for them since 2017. They're poised to do very, very well in the Colonial Athletic Association.
1-1 start for the Phoenix. Nobody in the nation has played a closer first two games than the Phoenix. A 2-point loss against Wofford, a 1-point win at the very end against Campbell last week. First pass by Davis Cheek out on the far sideline to Chandler Brayboy, redshirt freshman out of Purnell Sweat High School down in Pembroke. This is an Elon program that will recruit this state of North Carolina. 42 players from the Old North State on this roster.
DJ, 42 players on this roster, but they also have 13 of 22 starters from North Carolina. And if you look at the Appalachian roster, we've got 7 players from North Carolina. So they're going to make some hay here in North Carolina.
Little juice down there is what you're saying today. 2nd down and 6. Elon on the opening drive of the ball game. Cheek looking for the slant route and the intended target over on the far side is J.R. Martin. That'll bring up 3rd down and short.
You know, that's very productive two downs for Elon. Again, you want to make the 3rd down manageable when it comes to play calling and really what your players can do from a personnel perspective.
Hells Bells play at the Rock on 3rd down, staple of this stadium since 2003. Going with the run play right, and a 1st down gain for the Phoenix out to the 40-yard line, but a big pop on defense by Nick Ross as Appalachian State will try to play that balanced mixed tempo attack of Elon's. As we talked to offensive coordinator Drew Fulmar, he said it was important that Davis Cheek spread the football out a variety of ways, and that includes the run game.
Hey, you know what he says? He wants to be able to run the football, but obviously we know they're going to throw more than 60% of the time. But this is not a bad start for Elon. Again, a 1st down on the first series here. They're moving the football right now.
Empty backfield on 1st down and 10. Cheek pressured for the first time. He'll take off and slide to about a 1-yard loss, and that's where the pressure up front of Appalachian State's big 3. Demetrius Taylor, Jordan Earl, Caleb Spurlin, they cause havoc up front.
They cause havoc, and you talk about havoc, DJ. You know, we were talking with defensive coordinator Dale Jones this week. He's clearly said, you know, we want to do well on 3rd down, but we also want to create havoc, not with just our linebackers, but with our defensive linemen, our front 3. We want tackles for loss and sacks.
2-yard loss on 2nd and 12. The handoff to McKinley Witherspoon. Twists up to the 40-yard line. Gets those lost yards back. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 10 for the Phoenix. Fourth quarter touchdown run for Witherspoon last week against Campbell, another redshirt freshman out of High Brighton High School, about 30 miles from Kid Brewer Stadium just down the mountain in Lenoir. You know, he was probably wandering around the Rock as a youngster back in the day. Now he's playing here at the stadium, trying to prolong this drive for the Elon Phoenix on 3rd down and 9. Cheek with pressure coming. Rolls out right, and the pass fired into the App State sideline. Incomplete. The intended target, Jackson Parham, was about standing in the middle of the bench on the home side, so that'll bring up 4th down.
I tell you what, great pass rush by 3 down linemen in Jordan Earl, Caleb Sperling, and Demetrius Taylor. Again, didn't have to blitz, so you could get everybody in coverage, which threw Davis Cheek off because he had some of the linebackers walking up as if they were going to blitz, but they backed off in coverage. Good pressure by the front 3.
Jeff Yerk, the freshman out of Pinecrest High School down at Southern Pines, one of the latest stars to come out of that storied high school program, kicking back to Thomas Hennigan, another North Carolinian out of Northwest Guilford High School in Greensboro. The super senior awaits at his own 20 as Yerk uncorks it. Tight spiral in this beautiful high country sky. Hennigan with an opportunity for a return, but he is flat and quick. Chandler Brayboy gets back in coverage for Elon. Specialist on special teams, you see the athleticism that Brayboy can bring in.
I will tell you, too, Trisciani does not mind putting his primary starters on special teams. Trayvon Jones, you're going to hear that name a lot. He's a cornerback for Elon. He's on special teams. Brayboy, he will put those guys because, again, he feels like if we're going to have a chance against an FBS team, we've got to put our best football players on the field doing offense and defense as well as special teams.
So Davis Cheek, 3 of his first 4 passing on the opening drive. He yields to Chase Bryce in Appalachian State. 1st down and 10 for the Mountaineers off their own 12 after the punt there from the Phoenix. And the first carry of the ball game into the hands of Cameron Peoples up to the 19-yard line. Pickup of 7.
I tell you, Appalachian's going to attack the middle and force those safeties to come up, and then I think obviously they're going to try and go over top. But again, Appalachian is going to try and impose their will today, running the football, trying to somewhat get back on track from the Miami game.
2nd down and 3 for Bryce. Empty backfield. As he'll go up top for the first time. Got a man in stride. That's caught. Sideline route to Malik Williams and a Mountaineer 1st down.
I got to tell you what, great job by Malik Williams. Again, that's your go route. You know, it looks like you're going to run a corner route, but you turn it into a go route. Great protection up front. Great throw by Chase. But again, attacking that middle, had those safeties inching up. You didn't have a safety behind him.
Malik Williams chasing Tony Washington. Needs 215 yards entering play today to get into the App State top 10 in career receiving. A 50-yard gain puts App State on the doorstep of the red zone. 1st and 10 from the Elon 31.
David, you talk about a 50-yard game. In 2020, Appalachian had explosive plays over 50 yards, I think 22 times.
Peoples again on the handoff. And the Elon front line meets him.
Good defensive stance there by big Torrance Williams and Tristan Cox up front for Elon. Tristan's a senior, and he's going to lead the troops up front. Good job getting penetration in the backfield by Tristan Cox.
3-3-5 set up for Billy Crocker's Elon Phoenix defense. They have used the takeaway to their benefit. We'll touch more on that later as App State gears up for 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard gain for Peoples. Another handoff and a left side run. Peoples gobbled up once again. Tackled from behind by John Johnson. That'll bring up 3rd down for App State. Elon is a squad that in the spring season we talked about the fact that they were not successful. I mean, we can't say it any other way. 1-5 record, but a lot of that was due to injuries. Some of those younger players in the back end of their defense obviously got some valuable time helping take some of the pressure off the front end. As the pass goes out to Corey Sutton, tiptoes on the sideline, still on his feet, fumbles it into the end zone. And we have all kinds of chaos on the first attempt at pay dirt here at Kid Brewer Stadium.
I tell you, that's one thing that Coach Clark talked about. David Jackson is taking care of the football, and they wanted more explosive plays. They wanted, a faster tempo, but he also talked about taking care of the football. And, you know, we've kind of put the ball on the turf a couple times here in this series, this drive.
So almost right on cue, Elon forces the turnover as Sutton has it popped out of his hands and into the end zone for a touchback. And Elon will get possession after App State was knocking on the door of the first points of the day.
Dave, going back to what you were talking about, Elon and the poor showing in the spring, like you said, not only did they have injuries within the linebacking corps, but they had injuries with their offensive line as well as their quarterback, so it was a tough spring for them.
Nick Velos was credited with the fumble recovery as Cheek looks to pass coming out of the turnover and completes up to the 30-yard line on the sideline. That's Jackson Parham again. Parham third in the Colonial in yards, 24th in the country. He's averaging about 84 yards a game through the first two. He is the favorite target of Davis Cheek in the passing game for the Phoenix.
I tell you, they got a nice tandem of receivers with Jackson Parham and Cortez Weeks. But I tell you, on that last play, they're going to tack on 15 more yards because I think roughing the quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. But good job by Davis Cheek on that last play, standing in the pocket. He knew he was going to get tagged, but he was poised and delivered a nice throw on the deep out. And I tell you, good strong arm.
Elon averages about 400 yards a game. Cheek, again, a balanced attack here as you look at the first two ball games, right under 300 yards passing. He's a guy that had some storied success as a freshman, sophomore, led Elon to the playoffs in 2017 and 18. They fell off in 19 during transition. Obviously, 2020 took everybody for a loop, but this is a Phoenix program that feels like they're right on the cusp of that competitiveness again, largely due to the fact that they've got a veteran under center.
And you know, when Coach Drew Foreman, the offensive coordinator, was talking about Davis Cheek, we'll talk about after this play.
Cheek with Jalen Thomas in the backfield on first down and 10. Thomas with his first carry of the day. That's not going anywhere. Scooped up front by T.D. Roof. What a week he had against Miami last week, Avery Hall.
I tell you what, 2 sacks. I mean, he was all over the field from his outside linebacker position. I'm telling you, we are stacked. Appalachian is stacked at the outside linebacker position with Brandon Harrington and T.D. Roof manning that right side.
Ted Roof, the former App State defensive coordinator, now an analyst on staff with Dabo Swinney at Clemson. Coaches they just move around. Second down and 10. Lots of time there for Cheek as he completes the pass across the middle to Cortez Weeks. Near first down gain for the Phoenix. A ball spotted at the 40. Gonna be awfully close, and they'll give it to Elon. Another movement of the chains for Cheek and the Phoenix.
Good catch by Cortez Weeks. He's been active. He had 12 catches this year already, and I think had 6 in that last game when they played Campbell. But good job, good protection up front by the big offensive lineman. This is a young offensive line, but they're providing good protection, good decision making by Cheek.
Cheek said that he and Weeks have a natural chemistry as he tries to hit Brayboy on the sideline. Completed catch and a dive forward up to the 47-yard line, near another first down gain for Elon as they continue to move the sticks. You know, one of the things that sticks out about Elon offensively, Avery, is their time of possession, north of 30 minutes. According to our conversation with Tony Trisciani, that's not necessarily by design, that's more by circumstance. This isn't a deliberate offense. They'll take what they get.
Absolutely. You know, again, he talked clearly around, you know, the RPO, and they call it a multiple tempo offense, where if the defense is going to give you the run, they're going to take the run. If they give you the pass, they'll take the pass.
Underneath, Brayboy runs into a host of Mountaineers on the boundary. No gain on second down. It'll be third and short.
But DJ, you know, when Coach was talking about that, and you go back and look at the statistics, you know, I see what you do, not what you say, and they really throw the football a lot, which it's like they run the football so that they can set up the pass, and they pass it, whether it's the vertical passing game or the horizontal. They do a good job of passing the football.
Elon 39% on third down this year, 5th in the Colonial. App State, the second best Sun Belt third down defense through 2 weeks. Cheek with no pressure, lots of time, but his receiver falls, and that slips incomplete. Intended target was Bryson Daughtry. He has that catch if he stays on his feet for a first down. Instead, Elon forced to punt it away again.
Again, that turf monster gets you every time, but he tried to cut and cut too quickly. Again, he fell to the ground, but decent throw, good protection. You know, it's trying to spread out the field. On that last play, they had trips to the left side, twins to the wide side. And again, they had to spread out the Appalachian defense and almost was successful there.
Jeff Yerk to punt away again to Thomas Hennigan. Yerk's first punt, a 47-yarder. He's had one blocked this year, and that was due to a slow get-off by the freshman punter. No pressure coming to him as he gets a wobbler away. Hennigan this time calls fair catch after being slung backward on his last attempt. We are scoreless. 7 minutes to play in the opening quarter here at The Rock, Kid Brewer Stadium in Boone. App State offense ready to roll here at Kid Brewer Stadium. 7 minutes to go, opening quarter, no score. Elon has held the football for 6 of those opening minutes. Not a whole lot of offense either way as Chase Bryce gets a pass off. Somehow, Corey Sutton open as he turns it loose near midfield to the 42 and a Mountaineer first down.
Outstanding decision by Chase Bryce to go to Corey Sutton. If you look at that play, Elon blitzed the safety on that side, DJ, or they call it their bandit. And again, that takes him out of that zone coverage space over there, which let Corey Sutton be wide open. So good decision by Chase to step up and make that throw.
1st and 10 for the Mountaineers nearing midfield. Handoff to Nate Noel, trying to get loose into the secondary. And near a first down gain for Noel. We talk about the embarrassment of riches at running back for App State. You've got Cameron Peoples averaging 97.5 yards a game. He's second, or rather the Sun Belt rushing leader. Right on his heels, the sophomore from Miami, Nate Noel, second in the Sun Belt in rushing, just under 90 a game. Opportunity through injury early in his career to establish himself as the next great one in the lineage of running backs in this program. Hennigan. Inside step gets him across midfield and stretches the chains for the black and gold.
I tell you what, that's that horizontal pass game that Appalachian State perfects. Obviously Appalachian State likes to run the football. That's just pretty much a pass sweep play. You get it out to Hennigan out on the perimeter, let his big receivers block for him, and again, he gets you a first down.
121 total yards of offense for Bryce and the Mountaineers. Remember, App State fumbled going into the end zone on their first drive of the ball game. Elon now +4 in the takeaway game. Play action look. Bryce looking for the home run ball down the middle of the field. Williams to the end zone. Touchdown, black and gold.
Outstanding protection up front. Again, great throw. We'll break this down. I'm sure we'll see a replay of it. But again, you got your slant route. Really, it's an inside route crossing the middle of the field. Again, you got your offensive lineman zone blocking to the other side, which throws the safety off. They start moving to that side. Great execution by Appalachian's offense.
Touchdown catches for the super senior in back-to-back weeks. Malik Williams on the 47-yard grab from Chase Bryce. PAT attempt is up and good from Chandler Staten. Malik Williams doing the work.
Again, post route there by Wales there, but it started up front with the zone blocking, and again, great job of pulling the safeties up out of that zone for that post route to work.
Mountaineers up 7-0. Malik Williams, 2 catches, 97 yards, a 50-yarder, and another one from 47. Gets him into the end zone for the first score of the ball game. First score at this rejuvenated Kid Brewer Stadium. That's where we find ourselves today. App State and Elon have played some big ones in here before. Back at the kind of that 2009, 10, 11 range, they'd put 31,000 in for this game between nationally ranked Elon and App State teams back in their stranglehold of the FCS level in the Southern Conference. In 2013, both went their separate ways. App State made their transition up to the FBS. Elon made the move over to the Colonial, where they have been a playoff team a couple of times since then. And I think App State fans have an appreciation for where Elon wants to go, and they will recognize this is a team that looks like they've got the pieces to get there.
Exactly, and I tell you what, that one game in 2010, David Jackson is still a high attendance record here. If you take away the Miami game and the Wake Forest game, that would be the highest attended game here at Kidd Brewer Stadium. So our fans appreciate this rival, or this game with Elon.
Elon's moved it 42 yards. 6:03 time of possession. Play action look. Nice shoulder fake there. And the sideline route caught by Jackson Parham, and he's got a little room to run up the sideline. Chase from behind finally. As App State deploys Ronald Clark in to make the tackle, but a first down gain for the Phoenix.
I tell you what, the Phoenix are doing a better job up front than I anticipated them doing with such a young offensive line, and Appalachian State having such a seasoned skilled defensive line, but they're doing a good job of slide protection as well as zone protection, and really giving Davis Cheek enough time to throw the football.
And Cheek's been making hay mostly on the short passing game thus far. He's 8 of 10 in the air, 60 yards though. He's got the ability to cork one loose though, as he tries to go sideline route again, intended for Parham, and broken up from behind by Dante Small.
Jackson Parham, he's slipped a couple times on this turf, so he may want to go get a longer turf shoe, shoe with more the longer turf spikes in them. But pretty decent route, pretty good protection again up front, good throw.
Jalen Thomas set back, 2nd down and 10. Going the opposite way this time after targeting a lot left, and now there's a flag on the plays. It looks like the Phoenix are going to pick up a pass interference call against Madison Cone. Intended to target Cortez Weeks over on the Elon sideline.
Actually, that looked like pretty decent coverage because the receiver started to trip. We'll see if we maybe see a replay, but they are calling pass interference on Madison Cone, but that actually looked like a decent coverage. Again, had his long arm towards quarterback, short arm on the receiver. That's kind of standard, but again, I don't see a replay, and I'll give the refs the benefit of the doubt there.
Aren't you hospitable? McKinley Witherspoon, the setback on 1st and 10 off the penalty. Elon near midfield trying to break into Mountaineer territory, and they'll do so. A big hit over on the sideline. Trey Cobb into the Elon receiver.
That was a well-designed play by Elon. They pulled the left side offensive lineman to the right and threw back to the left. And as you know, that's eye candy for linebackers. And when they see those linemen pull, they want to go in that direction. But they threw back, and that'll take a few more people out of the space to make a play over there.
6-yard pickup, 2nd and 4. Pass to the motion man. That's Witherspoon out of the backfield. Nice stiff arm there as he's inside the 35-yard line. 1st down, Phoenix. The balance in this offensive attack that we're seeing from Drew Fulmar's crew really bothering App State on the intensity of how to get after the quarterback. It seems like every time the Apps want to turn up the pressure, Elon's got the safety valve off to the side.
I'll tell you what, and that's by design, and that's why they've been effective, and they will be effective in the Colonial Athletic Association, and we'll give Appalachian a difficult time in this first half until we make adjustments. And when I say make adjustments, you know what Elon's going to do when you watch tape. You know exactly what they're going to do, but it's kind of, you get that game speed, you kind of get in the flow, and you get into the momentum and cadence of the football game.
Witherspoon again with another hard hit on the sideline, but leaning right into the contact from DeMarco Jackson. McKinley Witherspoon, the redshirt freshman. We touched on the fact that he was from right down the road at High Brighton High School, had that touchdown late against Campbell last week. We talked to Tony Trisciani about him, said he really runs behind his pads, very physical running back, and he's bringing that physicality here to the field in the first quarter of action for Elon.
I mean, he has 20 rushes for 69 yards, and that may not sound like a lot, but he does a good job when he runs the football, and he's able to catch the ball out of the backfield as well.
1st and 10, Phoenix, just outside the red zone, trying to even this, or check that 2nd down at 5, the call, but just outside the red zone, Elon. Witherspoon slipped that time. He had an opportunity. Trey Cobb got to him. Opportunity to go off right guard. Jabril Williams had quite the improvement from week 1 to week 2. Another redshirt freshman up front for the Phoenix out of Statesville. And if Elon's going to have success offensively, they're asking young players up front to do the job in the trenches.
Well, I would tell you, Dave, those guys up front, the young guys, Kevin Burkett, Jabril Williams, Caleb Krings, they're all freshmen or redshirt freshmen. They are answering the call right now because they're doing a good job up front against a very talented Appalachian defensive line.
Malik Griffin, the right side protection back. He'll orbit out in motion now as Cheek looks for some help after being flushed out of the pocket. 3 jerseys around him. Somehow he gets that pass away to McKinley Witherspoon, whose knee was down at the 29-yard line on the reception. And that will actually go as a loss of 2 and force a special team situation for the Phoenix. They'll bring out Skylar Davis. He's made 13 in a row from inside 40 yards, but sits just outside that now.
This will be a 46-yarder, Dave?
46-yarder for Skylar Davis. 2 of 2 from that distance so far this year. 7 of 13 in his career. Good snap. Got plenty of leg on it and puts it through the uprights. So Skylar Davis from 46 yards away puts the Elon Phoenix on the board. An answer from the in-state rival here at Kid Brewer Stadium in Boone. Howard's Knob here in Boone, North Carolina, with the beautiful North End Zone facility at Kid Brewer Stadium. In the foreground, it is a view unlike any other, fans unlike many others. You can actually buy those overalls. Avery Hall, I don't know if you got a pair in the closet.
If they've got a size 4X, I'll take it. I'll look like some type of bumblebee walking around with those type of things.
Some type of bumblebee is right.
But you talk about the North End Zone facility. That's a $50 million facility that has a barber shop. Man, we had to go to Winston-Salem to get a haircut when I was here.
Thomas Hennigan calls fair catch on the kickoff. Jalen Virgil was kicked away from, and you can understand that after another 100-yard kickoff return against Miami last week. We'll touch more on that as we go throughout the broadcast today. The Elon Phoenix using special teams to their advantage, though. 46-yard field goal from Tyler Davis, just 4 yards removed from his career long of 50 against James Madison just a couple of years ago. You like the fight in Elon and Avery? They're doing it with time of possession right now. 10:04 to 3:33, so App State could benefit their defense by having a little bit more methodical drive this time around.
But that favors Elon. Again, if you can control the clock and keep this Appalachian offense on the sideline, and again, Coach Trisciano talked about his kids are going to play hard.
Bryce with the handoff to Peoples, and that is stood up right at the line of scrimmage. Excellent recognition up front by Devontae Chandler, the middle linebacker. He meets the super senior running back for a loss.
That's a great play by Devontae Chandler, but I will tell you, you think about that play. When they walk up to the line, Chase Bryce can run, he can change the play. When you see 8 guys in the box, you want to throw the football versus running the run in the RPO, and he didn't check out of it.
Bryce has had a good day passing. 5 of his first 5 make him 6 for 6 as he finds Virgil on the stutter step to the 25-yard line, gets those yards of loss back. App State facing a 3rd down and 10, and this is an area where Sean Clark wants to see improvement. App State was 90th in the country last year in 3rd down and 8 or more. They have not started their most efficient on 3rd down this year. You don't want that to be an Achilles heel for a quick strike offense.
And he was real clear, Dave. He said, I want to be 50% or better on 3rd down. And, you look at the first 2 ball games, he's at a 39% clip. They've got to be more effective on 3rd down.
People shifting in the backfield. He'll get the handoff. There he goes up the sideline across the 35. 1st down, gain on 3rd and 10. That's a check mark on the clipboard of the Mountaineer head coach Sean Clark.
He'll take that type of conversion every day, all day. Again, but he's got to go to Damian Daly, who's 6'4", 295 pounds at that left guard position, and Anderson Hardy, who's 6'6", 290. Again, did a great job of blocking on that side.
Into the first quarter here at the Rock, 7-3. Mountaineers leading the Elon Phoenix in Boone. You are looking at the family of former head coach of Appalachian State, the Hall of Famer Jerry Moore. 215 wins in his tenure as head coach at App State. Earlier today, they unveiled a statue of the former Mountaineer leader and national champion out in the Jerry Moore Plaza, which is just outside that north end zone facility we showed you just a little bit ago. Excellent tribute, great weekend. We'll talk about a few of the stories that were told last night. It's part of the dinner to honor Coach and his family for all of their accolades here in the black and gold. App State trying to get off to a hot start to start this second quarter. Avery Hall, the Mountaineers left a few opportunities on the board. A fumble into the end zone by Cam Peoples. You might see a little bit more spread out score. Deshaun Davis moves the chains into Elon territory as the Apps try to get that quick strike offense going again, nearing 200 yards for the day.
You know, we talked about making good decisions, and actually Bryce checked off to a better play. Again, at that particular time, they put 7 to 8 guys in the box, so you've got to, go to a passing play. So great job of getting it out on the perimeter to Deshaun Davis.
First down at 10 for the Mountaineers, just beyond midfield. Virgil on the grab inside, and he'll get inside the 45-yard line. Chase Bryce had to be a student of the game. That's what Frank Ponce said about his developing quarterback. And Avery, I think you've got to keep in mind that transfer QBs in don't get that long runway of time to develop with a program. You got to come in and hit the ground running. It hasn't exactly been easy to do that with COVID protocols and just disruption in a normal schedule. But Bryce still working mechanically as Peoples gets off to the races. He's got the corner to beat over on the sideline, tiptoes into the Elon boundary at the 28, picks up 15 for a Mountaineer first down.
Good vision by Peoples. But going back to Bryce, David Jackson, Coach Ponce clearly said he didn't just say he had to work on mechanics. He said he had to work on mechanics for Appalachian's system. And what that meant is he had to kind of
Virgil trying so hard to make that catch.
He had to really work on getting his mechanics down and working on making the right decisions to fit this Appalachian RPO. And again, it takes some time. There's another guy who's had 3 different coordinators in 3 years, from Clemson to Duke to ASU. So, but I think Coach Ponce made it real clear that he's making better decisions and he's doing a much better job managing the offense.
Injured Elon Phoenix player on the field will take a timeout. 13:36 to play in the second. 4-point lead for the Mountaineers.
You probably already knew you could get an auto loan with Navy Federal Credit Union. But did you know, with our fully loaded car buying center, you can also get this.
Back to work for App State, leading 7-3 here, early second quarter. David Jackson, Avery Hall with you on this mostly cloudy Saturday. Beautiful conditions here in the high country. First time that Kid Brewer Stadium has been filled like this since the Sun Belt Championship game of 2019. And it was cold that day. It wasn't filled like this, I can tell you that. Great to see fans back in the Rock as Chase Bryce tries to give them a little something to work with here on second down at 10. Play action look, going toward the corner. Smooth Davis there, and the pass broken up. Excellent coverage down the sideline. Elon's defensive secondary again got that benefit of the spring to get some age, and they're playing like a veteran group here this afternoon.
Playing very well. Again, good. Use the sideline as that second defender to kind of take here. Little Chase drops back. He was focused on the receiver here running this corner route, but again, just good job right there, breaking up the play there by number 24.
Dylan Tucker, the freshman out of Vance High School in Charlotte, brings up third down and 10 now for App State. Trying to get the corner. People still fighting, still on his feet. A load to bring down the super senior into the sideline inside the 30-yard line. A pickup of a couple. It'll be decision time here for Sean Clark, and he'll send out the field goal unit. Chandler Staten on for the try. He is a perfect 3 of 3 on the year. 75% nearly his career average. Up in the top 3 of the App State annals as far as kick accuracy from 43 yards. Good snap. Good leg. And he got it. Staten from 43, and App State extends their lead to 10-3 over the Elon Phoenix here at Kid Brewer Stadium. And there is no get off my lawn decree here at Kid Brewer Stadium today. That hill end zone seating area packed to the gills More than 30,000 plus here to see App State build a 10-3 lead over Elon early second quarter. Field goal from Chandler Staten officially goes down as a 44-yarder. He was just a couple of blades of the turf removed from the 33. So a 44-yarder for Chandler Staten to get those points back. And Avery, App State's offense, 221 yards. Chase Bryce, 8 of 10 in the passing game, 179 and a touchdown. But Elon doing some good things in the front seven to bother App State's progression, especially in the long passing game.
You know what? Like Coach Bill Crocker, their defensive coordinator, he communicated that, you know, he said, we're going to play hard. We're going to try and create havoc up front. We want Appalachian to earn it. We want them to have long drives. And I will tell you, they're putting 7, 8 men in the box. And what they're doing is this. They're saying, look, we're going to force Chase Bryce to beat us passing the football. And by the way, we've got pretty good corners. We're going to play some man, and we're going to make him throw it horizontally versus vertical. And that's what they're doing right now.
Here comes Davis Cheek, 11 of 14 passing, only 76 yards. Again, App State giving Elon some of that short passing game. And that's what Elon says they'll take advantage of. They said they'll take what the defense gives you. Sometimes that sounds like coach speak. Other times that talks like effective play calling. And Elon's been able to maintain the time of possession war due to the fact that they've been multiple in their look today. Jalen Thomas with the carry. He has been utilized only 3 times now on the day. Witherspoon getting the majority of the carries, but Thomas a 5-yard gain up to the 30.
You wonder if Thomas is hurt, because again, normally he's involved in the running game as well as the passing game.
On 2nd and 5, inside handoff. Thomas has some room to run across midfield. 2 men to beat, and he's pulled down inside App State territory at the 42-yard line. There's the burst from the sweet feet of the shifty Jalen Thomas.
You look at this, get a good job by the offensive lineman, good read by Thomas, and again, good burst after the play of getting upfield.
Stephen Jones with the potential touchdown saving tackle there. There's Jalen Thomas now with his 3rd carry, gives him 33 yards on the day. 1 carry, now he's averaging 11 yards a touch. Not bad productivity. First down and 10 for the Phoenix. Toward the corner, bobbled on the sideline and incomplete. Nick Ross in coverage for the black and gold.
I tell you what, you know, that was a good throw, good protection, and almost, you know, a good catch there. Again, bobbled it, couldn't hang on to it. Dave, you talk about coach speak. You know, when you look at the offensive scheme for Elon when they're running this RPO, you know, it pretty much it is what it is. I mean, and you hate to say that, that's cliche-ish, but, you know, if you've got a linebacker or a safety walking down and they're putting more men in the box, you're going to throw the ball. If they take folks out of the box, you know, you're going to run it. So you know, you hate to say it's coach speak, but it is what it is, you know.
Thomas off the right on 2nd and 10. Safety valve pass and met in the backfield. What a pop by DeMarco Jackson on Cortez Weeks.
I tell you what, great play by DeMarco Jackson. Take a look at this. Not only is he having to cover a running back, but then look, watch his tackle in space. Great job of breaking down and at least hanging on and making a play. I tell you, middle linebackers have it tough, I'm telling you, because, again, they've got to go up against 300-pound linemen in the trenches and stop running backs, but then they got to be able to cover out there in space.
5-yard loss. Elon 1 of 4 on 3rd down today. They've got 3rd and 15 from near midfield. See if the Apps try to turn up the heat on Davis Cheek. They do, and he'll roll out. Now running for his life, pulled down. DeMarco Jackson again meets his man in the backfield, and Elon's positive drive snuffed out near midfield.
I tell you what, DeMarco Jackson just has all the attributes of a great linebacker. He can run, he can tackle in space, he has great instincts. Again, an average linebacker wouldn't have made Davis Cheek slip there. Davis Cheek saw number 52 looking like a mini Ray Lewis coming, and he said, I'm going to get down. But DeMarco Jackson, again, just fantastic instincts there.
Jeff Yerk on to punt away again. Thomas Hennigan standing just in front of his own 10. Freshman ready to boom it away. Nice tight driving spiral. See if Elon can cover. Oh, that checks up nice for the Phoenix inside the 10. They'll get back to it at the 12-yard line. Elon pinning App State back. The Mountaineers up 7 with the ball here midway through the second when we come back. App State 10-3. They lead the Elon Phoenix here at Kid Brewers Stadium. David Jackson, Avery Hall back. And Avery, those lids on the Mountaineers today, they're a little throwback to your days, right?
They're definitely a throwback to my days, and that's why I think that's the best looking uniform in all the different versions. No, I'm just kidding. They look sharp today, and I think because of the recognition of Coach Jerry Moore and his contributions, they wanted to kind of show him a little love today by going back to those old helmets.
Jeff Yerk pinning App State inside the 20 as the Mountaineers will try to dig out of a hole and get that offense moving once again. Chase Bryce again in the passing game. You just saw the numbers, 8 of 10. And the Mountaineers trying to use some time to maybe balance out time of possession here. 13:05 to 7:15. Elon has done a good job of keeping the ball in their possession, moving it in short chunks. Keeping that App State offense off the field here for the majority of the first half. Got 9 minutes to go until halftime. Sutton, a falling catch on the sideline up to the 28. That's good for a Mountaineer first down. Corey Sutton quietly with his third catch for right around 60 yards.
Corey Sutton has been very productive, had 7 catches for 60 yards last week at the Miami game, and you expect him to have a big game today. DJ, if you look at Chase Bryce, he tries to emulate a clap a couple times before each play, but I will tell you what Elon's doing. They're not buying it. They're not going to show what they're doing defensively.
Noel with the shifty first step, but met on the second. The Elon linebackers converge. Nick Velos in there around the stop. Velos a very strong start to his freshman season out of Cathedral High School in Los Angeles. Part of, again, that Elon linebacking core where, you know, they are leading tacklers in the fall for these first 3 games. It was the defensive backs that were leading tacklers in the spring, and that was part of the problem. Linebackers have benefited from a little bit of experience, and Velos has been a big part of that. Second down and 9. Bryce across the middle finds Sutton again. Shakes one and gets clobbered over the top of the 43 for a first down gain.
Again, great job. Elon blitzed to the right side. He rolls back to the left, to the right on his side. Great throw to Corey. Great run after the catch. Corey's got to wrap that football up, though. Doesn't want to turn that ball over.
Credit Trayvon Jones, the reigning Colonial Defensive Player of the Week, for sticking with the shifty Mountaineer speedster receiver, Corey Sutton. Nate Noel on first down and 10, trying to go left side and gets stopped for a gain of 1. Again, more evidence of that front 7 of Elon recognizing play formation, stopping the run game. App State has not been nearly as explosive in that element of the football game as we thought they might be.
Well, and it's real clear they're starting off with 3 down linemen, but they're definitely blitzing their bandit and their spur. That's what they call their outside linebackers and the middle linebacker. And again, as I shared with you, Chase Bryce is clapping. Faking a clap, as you can see there, and then because he's wanting to see if somebody will walk up, but they're not giving him any type of look so that he can determine what they're doing.
Bryce rushed in that throw intended for Hennigan on the sideline. Good pursuit there out of the backfield.
DJ, you can do that clap motion, or you can literally have a receiver go in motion to try and discern what the defense is going to do. If they're going to bring the safety, walk the safety down, or if they're going to blitz a linebacker. You can also do that to try and create a mismatch or catch them out of alignment. But Elon's not falling for it. They're disguising their defense, and they're showing at the very last minute, which is causing a few problems up front for Appalachian.
Jaden Dennis on that pressure of Bryce, who has third down and 9 from his own 44. 7-point game here at the Rock. Bryce across the middle. A lot of traffic. No flag. Fourth down coming up.
Wow.
Christian Wells, the intended target. Let's check it again.
Let's take a look at that. If you look at the throw.
Looked like maybe traffic into one another.
Actually, again, that's not bad. Again, most DBs are going to have their short arm on that receiver, the long arm ready to play the ball between the ball and the quarterback. And he just disguised his hold very, very well there.
Xavier Sabach averaging 40 a game. The Aussie puts his foot into one. Fair catch called for at the 13-yard line by the Elon Phoenix, and we'll see how Elon tries to take advantage now. Once again, thwarting Appalachian State with good play out of their front seven. Now you start to look at Elon's game plan. Avery, you're seeing a Phoenix team that's fairly balanced out of their offensive sets today. 105 yards, 71 of those in the air, 34 on the ground. They've been a little bit more productive on the ground recently. Is this time, if you've been baiting something, to try to hit the home run ball if you're Elon and try to get back in the football game from that perspective?
You know what? I'll be candid, DJ. Right now, Elon feels like they're in a great situation with 10-3 here at Kid Brewer Stadium. 6:41 to go in the second half. They're kind of controlling the tempo. Think about it. They're happy to be here. They're controlling the time of possession. They're keeping Appalachian's offense on the sideline. Their defense is playing well enough to keep them in it. I mean, they actually feel good about where they are right now.
Jalen Thomas into TD Roof's grasp, gain of 1. Thomas on the day, 4 carries, 34 yards. Almost all of the Elon rushing attack, especially here in the second quarter. Second down and 9. Davis Cheeks used play action effectively at times today. And now a flag play. That's the first penalty that we have seen on the Elon offense today.
Again, they came out tight end to the wide side of the field. They even motioned back to the wide side of the field. Again, Appalachian shifted the defense to that side, but again, the tight end got a little excited there. And I guess he's ready to curate that wall there to give us back a shot to the sideline or to the perimeter. But false start there by Elon.
Talking with Drew Fulmar, he said, Elon outgained their first 2 opponents in Wofford and Campbell this year, but it was unforced errors that kept points off the board. You look at Elon, they've got the 4th best offense in the Colonial to start the year, but the 7th best scoring offense.
Well, he talked a lot about those mental errors, those pre-snap penalties that were killing him in the first 2 ball games.
That makes 2nd and 14 now. This Cheek goes across the middle, and he's got a target. That's a first down catch. Phoenix moved the chains again as Bryson Daughtry makes the grab.
Bryson Daughtry, 6 foot, 194 junior out of Charlotte, Berry Academy. That was just a good inside route. Good throw by Davis. When we're talking to Coach Farmer, he said Davis Cheek, he said he's the complete package. And he was talking about his mental toughness, his competitiveness, and he was talking about his decision-making. And he's showing some good decision-making and showing a lot of competitiveness in this ball game thus far.
Jalen Thomas is set back on first down at 10. And now another whistle and stoppage of play and another unforced error against the Phoenix. You look at the way that Davis Cheek has played today. It kind of fits the MO of the description we were given. Not flashy, just kind of gets it done. You're not seeing somebody utilize athleticism to make the skill set work. It's more of I'm just going to be tough, be physical, and take what's given to me and make the best of it.
Again, they said he was a good competitor. They said he was intelligent. They said he has the it factor. And we were like, what does the it factor mean? He talked about what he gets in. He watches film. He watches video. And he just comes to work and he does the very, very ordinary things in an extraordinary way. And you just kind of see that. Now, some of these pre-snap penalties here, DJ, they're young up front. And, even though they've got a junior at center, maybe there's a lack of communication. We are playing in front of a large crowd here today, and maybe that's contributed to it. But this is something he wanted to avoid when Coach Farmer was talking to us.
Large crowd that's kind of eerily silent right now in a 7-point game nearing halftime. It's not caused by noise if you can actually hear the whistle. Cheek with the handoff. Thomas with the stiff arm, but the pile catches up with him. DeMarco Jackson, who's had quite the second quarter, meets Thomas on the second effort.
We keep talking about, too, how young this Elon offensive line is, but, they average 6'3", 313 pounds across the front. So they're young, but they're big. And again, they did play in the spring and got their feet wet. But they're not, these guys, a lot of times you bring in smaller guys and you have to develop them. These guys came in big and they just need to get refined, I guess. But they're big up front.
2nd and 21 after all the false starts. 5 wide. Across the middle. And some of those yards coming back to the Phoenix. Avery Jones on the catch. That'll get us inside the initial sticks, bring up 3rd down and 8.
Avery Jones ran a pretty good slant route there, and good throw by Davis Cheek, but good slant route, getting inside, getting good position, separating from the DB.
It's 8 different receivers that have caught footballs for Elon today. Rolling inside, 3 minutes. Big 3rd down conversion opportunity for the Phoenix. They're just 1 of 5 on 3rd down today. App State turning up the heat. Good protection. And a 1st down catch as Elon keeps the drive alive. That's Jordan Bonner on the grab right on the midfield stripe.
First of all, great protection up front by Elon. Now we Appalachian State only rushed 4 down linemen, so they put 8 guys in the secondary. So really great job by Jordan Bonner finding a seam or a gap in that zone coverage again, and just coming back to the football, giving Davis Cheek a big target there.
6th play of the drive as Cheek goes to work toward the sideline, and the rolling catch by Jackson Parham picks up 5 yards on 1st down.
You know, coming into this football game, you knew Elon would throw the football, and you kind of said, well, what's going to, you know, when the rubber meets the road when it comes to ASU's tough secondary, Stephen Jones, Sean Jolly, you know, what's going to give? Right now, Elon's kind of having their way with this ASU defense in the secondary. Again, it could change, you know, but right now they have the positive momentum.
All but 10 of their plays in the passing game. 16 of 20, Davis Cheek, 122 so far in the air as he barks out the 2nd down and 5 call from the 49 of App State territory. Cheek with plenty of time to throw, short arm that one. Did Parham get down to it? They'll say no, incomplete, bring it back.
You know, Davis Cheek shows a lot of poise in the pocket. You know, he takes his time, whether the read is short to long or long to short. He just does a good job with his reads.
He tried to trap it. That's an art form on turf.
Well, when those little pellets pop up, they don't lie.
The pellets don't lie.
Right. They'll tell you every time.
The eye in the sky and pellets. Pretty much done if both of them disagree with you. 3rd down and 6. Big play for the App State defense. They try to wrestle momentum back in this football game with a 7-point lead. 5 wide for Cheek. Again, plenty of time to throw, pass, batted away across the middle. Nick Hampton gets to it at just the right time to keep that from being another 1st down grab.
I tell you what, good job by Nick Hampton running with a really speedy Bryson Daughtry, who's the wide receiver. That's an outside linebacker running with a wide receiver, so that tells you Nick Hampton's speed. Appalachian rushing 3. And Dave, you know, when they go in and look at video in halftime, they may want to change that strategy to put a little more pressure on Davis Cheek. He has too much time to throw right now.
3 punts today for Jeff Yerk, all inside the 20. Freshman playing well, helping Elon with the field position battle. App State's had a couple deep fields to work with. Spinner this time, picked up on the bounce, and Hennigan quickly thwarted it at the 10-yard line. So App State with 1:35, full complement of timeout, 7-point lead. Avery Hull, how aggressive are you here?
You know what, David Jackson, it's a minute and 35. You're only up by 7 against an FCS opponent. I mean, you know, you're deep in your territory, so the coaching manual says to play it conservative, but I think I would be aggressive and try and put some points on the board here.
Kind of interesting, the juxtaposition of last week where Sean Clark had the opportunity for a drive late in the 2nd quarter and elected not to put the foot on the gas because he wanted to make sure that his team had the lead going into the break. Felt like that was the right thing for the program at the time, and he kind of defended that in his press conference on Monday, saying, look, we know we had timeouts, we know we had the ball, but we wanted to be smart on the road. See if that strategy changes at all at home. Nate Noel could change it with one run, shakes off a tackler across the 25. Quick burst in the run game for a Mountaineer 1st down.
And again, Dave, the coaching manual, when you're deep in your territory, because you don't want to throw the ball around because you can have an intercept and take it back for a touchdown. The coaching manual tells you to play it conservative, but sometimes you got to be aggressive, and they're being aggressive with the run right now.
Noel, another corner away from breaking a long run.
this is where you pick up your tempo too. You know, you can be aggressive in play calling, or you can be aggressive in the tempo. And if you pick your tempo up, maybe you can wear this Elon defense down in the next minute and 5 and run the football effectively and try and score.
App State has what are called fastballs, those quick burst plays after big plays to catch defenses off guard. Now Chase Bryce showing the wheels, going up and over for the first down gain at the 42.
Good job. I've not really seen Chase Bryce run the football, but he's a good athlete. Again, good job. Nothing there. Don't throw it into double coverage, and just get as much as you can. Again, manage the game.
You go back and look at the development. At one point in time, Chase Bryce and Trevor Lawrence were battling for a starting position at quarterback at Clemson, and Bryce was thought to be someone that could impact the game from the wheels perspective. I think Trevor Lawrence ended up okay.
I tell you what,
he's
doing pretty well.
Yeah.
He's done very well.
But Bryce was somebody that, you know, initially as he transferred out to Duke was thought to maybe go to Georgia. He went to Duke. Didn't work out the way he saw it. He said it wasn't the right fit for him at Duke. Went shopping again in that transfer portal, which he said is, to quote him, his own words, no joke.
Right. Well, there are so many people.
Especially with all of the COVID transfers and rule changes.
Super seniors and all of that. And that also speaks a lot about Appalachian. Appalachian had 14 super seniors, and, you know, these guys could have gone. Let's see what the penalty here.
Here's Marshall Lewis.
Yeah, they had 14 super seniors, and they could have gone in the transfer portal, but they decided to stay here. So that says a lot about Appalachian's culture. And I'm going to tell you, Chase Bryce was good in high school. He played at Grayson in Georgia, Grayson High School in Georgia. He was very, you know, productive there. Then, of course, had some success at Clemson. Everybody talks about the Syracuse game and how he stood out and won that football game for Clemson. But like you mentioned, which is strange because, you know, David Cutcliffe is known for mentoring and developing quarterbacks, but for some reason it just didn't work out at Duke. But I will tell you, there's not a better coach right now than, you know, that can help mentor and develop him than Frank Punts. You know, you look at what Frank Punts did with Taylor Lamb, who threw for 9,000 yards, rushed for 2,000. You look what he did with Zach Thomas, what he did with Cam Bryant, who had a 71% completion percentage. If anybody can you know, get Chase going in the right direction, it's Frank Punts, and so he's in a good situation. But again, it's still early. He's still got to work out some of work through some of the rust and learn the mechanics of, as Coach Frank Punts says, the mechanics of ASU's system.
Frank Punts mentoring. You mentioned Taylor Lamb, who's an offensive coordinator now himself, and a Gardner-Webb at the FCS level. 52 seconds to play in this opening half. 1st and 10, App State. We're on 41-yard line. Bryce, quick slant. Over on the sideline, Hennigan with the grab, and a 7-yard pickup gets out of bounds. That'll stop the clock.
Good job of pitch and catch by Bryce and Hennigan, and good job of Hennigan. I mean, he didn't have a choice. Got tagged and got knocked out of bounds, but getting out of bounds and stopping this clock. 2
grabs for 12 yards for Hennigan on the day. 5 different receivers for Bryce, as we see an injured Elon player down in the App State backfield. That is Torrance Williams, the redshirt junior out of Burlington Williams High School.
I tell you, he's been a very effective player for them. 6'2", 290 pounds. Played at Williams, which is a storied program in North Carolina, but they're going to miss his presence if he can't come back in the game, because they got a redshirt freshman, Marvelon Field, who plays behind him.
The timeout on the field will give Elon a chance to huddle briefly, as App State sits 2 yards removed from midfield, trying to extend a 7-point lead. Coming up at halftime, we'll talk to App State men's basketball coach Dustin Kearns. He took the Mountaineers to the NCAA tournament for just the 3rd time in program history. We'll get an update on what's going on in the fall for Coach Kearns and the Mountaineer basketball team here in just a few minutes. Noel on 2nd and 3 has the first down and more into Elon territory. Clock stops to move the chains with 42 seconds to play until halftime.
Twins to both sides. Again, spread out that defense. Good read by Chase. Check into a run play. Good run by Nate Noel.
It's Noel's 8th carry of the day. And now a whistle and a stoppage. It's like a false start up front by App State. Very few penalties in this game today, knock on wood.
Well, very few, but they've been
momentum stallers.
There's 4 or 5 here in the last, I guess, 6 minutes of this quarter between both teams. pretty clean football game up until about, like I said, about 2 or 3 minutes ago. I tell you what, you know, I'm not sure how the Appalachian fans will respond to, you know, a conservative drive, because I'm sure most folks would have probably thought this team would be ahead by more than 7 at this point. But I will tell you, this is a very good Elon football team, and I will tell you, they're going to play well in the Colonial Athletic Association, and having a game like this will help them. And you know, Dave, when you think about the Colonial Athletic Association, man, just in their Southern Division, they've got to play Richmond, they've got to play James Madison, they've got to play William and Mary, they've got Maine on the schedule, they've got New Hampshire on the schedule. These are all teams that Appalachian fans are familiar with, and they're very tough opponents. That's a brutal schedule when you think about what Elon has to do in the FCS.
And league play begins for the Phoenix next week. They'll be hosting William & Mary at Rhodes Stadium before back-to-back games on the road against Richmond and Maine. And you're right, I mean, the Colonial has put just about the whole field in the playoffs for years. I mean, that's always one of the knocks from the Southern Conference teams, and Elon trying to get right back in that mix. Some think the Colonial could have as many as 5 playoff teams in a 2014 field this year. Chase Bryce trying to get some of those penalty yards back, finds Corey Sutton, who spins to a stop at the 47. App State with 1 timeout left, 23 seconds to go until halftime. Not a whole lot of pep in their step right here.
I tell you, that was a well-designed play by Appalachian, but I'm telling you, Elon is just hustling to the football. Big John Johnson got out there and made a play there.
Bryce finds Malik Williams again. He's been the answer man for the black and gold inside the 30. Clock stops to move the chains with 6 seconds left. See if you go clock play, try to get one more shot and take a timeout, or instead, App State will take the timeout now and set up for what would be a half-ending field goal attempt. Chandler Staten good from 43 already today. His long is 53. How about Malik Williams here in the first half, Avery Hall? You talk about all this firepower that App State has. Sometimes Malik Williams gets a little bit underappreciated, but 3 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown. Malik Williams has been big target for the black and gold as he continues to move up the career yardage ladder himself.
He has definitely stood out over the last couple ball games. But think about this, DJ. You're absolutely right. I mean, you think about the super senior wide receiving core of Thomas Hennigan, Corey Sutton, Malik Williams, and Jalen Virgil. They combined for 516 catches, 6,795 yards, and 57 touchdowns. And everybody talks a lot about Hennigan. Everybody talks a lot about Virgil because of his kickoff returns and his multiple ways of scoring. People talk about Corey Sutton, but Malik Williams has been very productive the last few years for us.
45-yard field goal attempt from right in the middle of the field. Howell's hold, down, kick, good, with 1 second to play until halftime. Staten's leg, a good one today from 45. The Mountaineers extend to their largest lead of the ball game at 13-3 right here before halftime. That'll get the fans moving a little bit as you see Chase Bryce on the Mountaineers sideline. 13 of 17 in the passing game, 232 yards and a touchdown. That's got the hometown crowd excited heading into the break as the Apps polish off an 8-play, 62-yard drive. Only took 1 minute and 34 seconds off this late second quarter clock.
DJ, you and I were talking before the game, and we were just having shop talk, and we were talking about we thought it'd be a close football game in the first half because Elon will be playing inspired football. But it'll be interesting to see if Trisciani can keep his guys motivated and playing inspired football. And it'll be interesting to see if Coach Clark can say to his guys, look, we have not started as fast as we would like. We need to go back out in this second half and be authoritative on offense and defense. It'll be interesting to see which leader prevails in motivating their troops in the second half.
2 of App State's scoring drives in this first half have been right around 90 seconds in length. App with only 11 minutes and 48 seconds of clock time total as you see the squibbed kick lead to a scrum on the field, and the final play of the half will see the Elon Phoenix gobble it up and trail by 10, 13-3. Mountaineers on top of the Phoenix here at the Rock, the Kid Brewer Stadium opener from Boone. 10-point lead for App State over Elon. Halftime here at Kidd Brewer Stadium. David Jackson, Avery Hall with you as we take a look at some first-half statistics. App State, like we mentioned, they have not left that offense in park so far today. 317 yards of total offense. And Avery, we see the play of Chase Bryce here today. 13 of 17 in the passing game, 232 yards. And he was finding his weapons early on in the first half.
He was finding his weapons. And again, you know, you see that 13 for 17, but many of those throws were horizontal in nature. And so the receivers did a lot, got a lot of yak after the catch. Or you look at the bright spot in the receiving corps, David. Malik Williams is having a stand-up ball game. Again, 3 targets, 3 catches, 117 yards. And that's been the majority of Bryce's production. But definitely wants to see if he can go more vertical in the second half.
Elon Phoenix couldn't get away from DeMarco Jackson there, but they've had some moments here as well from an offensive standpoint. 156 total, but it's been the time of possession that they've really been able to work out. You see the Mountaineers going to the ground game toward the end of the second quarter. Nate Noel, the leading rusher for the Black and Gold, 7 carries, 42 yards, helped chew up some field position to get that final field goal right before halftime. 13-3 our score here at the break. Kidd Brewer Stadium has been electric today. We'll see what lies in store for the second half. 10-point lead for App State over Elon at halftime. (13-3). The score at halftime, App State up by 10. You're looking over the beautiful landscape that is Kidd Brewer Stadium, one of the finest places to watch a college football game in the country. New look with the new North End Zone facility. But that's the same old Boone right behind you there with Howard's Knob and Elk Knob out in the background. Just a gorgeous atmosphere and a gorgeous day for football here in the high country. Avery Hall, as you grade out Chase Bryce in this first half of play, 13 of 17 in the passing game, 232 yards. From a decision-making standpoint, tempo standpoint, what'd you think?
You know, Chase is managing the football game. He's managing the football game well. Again, no poor decisions. We don't see any, INTs. We don't see any turnovers, no sacks. So he's managing the football game. But what you'd like for him to do is be more aggressive in his play calling. Coach Clark talked about the fastballs and going with the initial play and being more aggressive on the play calling. Obviously, he's managing the game by being very conservative. I'm sure the Appalachian faithful would like for him to be more aggressive. And when I say be more aggressive, if he's reading short to long down the field or from long to short, whichever way he's reading, his reading progression is going, he's got to be more aggressive and get the ball down the field.
So, go ahead.
They would also like for him to, take a few more chances. But again, he's managing the football game well based on the statistics.
So you look at the way that Elon has put themselves in position down 10. What do the Phoenix need to do to take advantage of the position they're in now?
You know what? Coach Trisciani said it best when we talked to him this week. Elon right now just needs to stay in the moment. He said stay in the moment because he said this is a football game. And the Elon players right now, they're playing like this is a football game. And they are playing very, very well. And, they want to keep putting pressure on Appalachian relative to time of possession. They want to keep the clock running because, again, with the point spread, this is a respectable ball game. Appalachian is the one that's going to leave. If this game ended at 13-3, Appalachian would be the one leaving the field saying, gosh, we didn't play well. We didn't perform well today. So Elon's in a great position right now. They just have to stay in the moment, realize it's a football game. And, hey, look, Coach Clark said it too, DJ. 8 FCS schools have beaten FBS schools this year already. So they know that. So just stay in the moment is all they have to do.
Sean Clark went as far as to say that 1994 VMI will not happen here, and that is an obvious throwback to an App State team that was poised to win a Southern Conference championship on this field. They had the trophy sitting on the porch of old Owens Fieldhouse. Thomas Haskins came up here and had other ideas. VMI boat races App State. They miss out on the SoCon championship, have to go on the road for the playoffs that year, but Sean Clark was on that team and remembers what that moment felt like, and I think as a player, when you haven't necessarily answered the bell.
That was one of the first things he talked about,
yes.
DJ. He said, I remember that 0-10 VMI team that had lost 49-0 to Georgia Southern, 58-15 to Citadel, And they came in here and beat us 26-23 in overtime in 1994. So he knows what's at stake here.
Jalen Virgil, one of 3 in the country that's had an opportunity to return a 100-yarder this year. They've kicked away from him twice. It's Hennigan again. And Hennigan getting loose up the sideline across the 35-yard line. So App State with decent field position to start their first drive. They'll mark them at what looks to be the 39.
Looks like we got a little fisticuffs going on the sideline over there, DJ.
Well, there are enough of these folks that have grown up around each other. You got to expect they're going to talk about old family members, stomping ground, something.
Hey, listen, you got a lot of rivalries in between rivalries. Butler, Mallet Creek represent on both sides. You know, Williams, Cummings, but represent on both sides. I mean, you got a bunch of North Carolinian football players on the field, and they know about the rivalry, and plus the other rivalry with their high schools.
Marshall Lewis here. An unsportsmanlike conduct penalty comes at the wrong time, and I tell you what, if you're Tony Trisciani coming out of the locker room and saying whatever he just said to see unsportsmanlike after a long kickoff return, that is double negative to start this second half.
Double negative, particularly when it's so far removed away from the play. The play had ended 20 seconds, before that. So that's why it's disheartening for Coach Trisciani.
So let's see how App State capitalizes on even better field position. They are in Elon territory to start this second half of play, up 10 at home. And now a false start penalty. Neither one of these teams exactly crisp to start the second half. You know,
it's interesting. Both teams started the football game, first quarter and halfway through the football game, very crisp. Not a lot of mental mistakes, a lot of encroachment, not offsides, clipping, or whatever. But the last half of the second quarter and, of course, start of the third quarter, they've been really, really messy.
It's our fault we brought it up.
We jinxed them.
We jinxed them. All right, take 2. First and 15 for Bryce. With Peoples in his backfield. Cam picks up a block. Long pass down the field. Hennigan just overthrown. Good coverage down the sideline there as well. That had to be a touch pass, and it was right on time. Trayvon Jones, again, the reigning Colonial Defensive Player of the Week, step for step with Hennigan.
I tell you, Trayvon Jones is as good as they come. I mean, he's an athlete, does well on the kickoff return, punt return. Just an athlete, but does a great job covering Hennigan. He actually slows Hennigan down. Now, I think that, Bryce has to take a little bit off that throw because, if you look at the Miami game, he missed Corey Sutton in the same manner in the Miami game. So he's got to take a little bit off that throw. But he has a strong arm, but he's got to take a little bit off that throw.
Trayvon Jones, 2 takeaways last week. App State throwing right at him. Here's Peoples pushing his blockers back across midfield to the Elon 49. That picks up nearly all the penalty yardage. Brings up 3rd down and long. We'll call it 10.5 from right on the midfield stripe here to open up third quarter play.
This falls right into Coach Bill Crocker's wheelhouse, the defensive coordinator of Elon. He said, listen, we want to keep Appalachian in 3rd and long, and for us to do that, we've got to play well on 1st down and 2nd down. But fortunately, he was aided by a penalty by Appalachian on this drive.
1 of 4 App State on 3rd down in the first half. Bryce with plenty of time. Good protection there. Sideline route of the pass caught by Malik Williams. Not enough for the first down, though, as Williams came back to the football and is marked out at the 43. And now there's another flag on the field as well. If this be in the vicinity of roughing the passer, maybe? I don't know.
No, this is going to be against Appalachian, it looks like. Looks like it's going to be a personal foul on Appalachian. But I will tell you, DJ, going back to that last play, it's 3rd and to Wilkesboro, which is about 30 miles from here, folks, and the folks who are watching on the set here. But why does a receiver not run a deep enough route to get the first down? You make that catch, you still don't have the first down. We got to do a better job of that recognition as well.
Now, Elon will forego the penalty, bring up 4th down, and now App State will have to punt. So after having opening field position on the 48-yard line, the Apps stay right there and do not advance the ball further forward. That will bring Xavier Sabach out for his 2nd effort of the ball game.
Sabach he's been very productive. He's been averaging almost 42 yards per punt, and he's been doing that for a few years for Appalachian.
He was right on that 42-yard marker, 1 inside the 20 in the first half. He's got another opportunity to do so, and will do it. Pins Elon at the 5-yard line. Scooting down there in coverage, Kristen Johnstone. How about your long snapper working down the field to pin the opponent inside the 5-yard line.
Good deal. I mean, that's excellent special teams play. Great punt by Sabach there again. And he's been doing that consistently. And you know, everybody talks about our super seniors. We had 3 super seniors come back on the special team side. So just a bunch of super seniors on this Appalachian football team. But Dave, you know, we keep talking about super seniors. We were talking to Elon. They've got a bunch of super seniors. I think if you go around the country, you're going to find that a lot of schools have super seniors, so it's an offset for a lot of programs.
And Tony Trisciani talking about how that's going to be a trend. It's not like the super seniors just go away after this year. Everybody with a bonus year from last year will be given that opportunity, as we see DJ Moyer take the first handoff of the third quarter for Elon and is dropped for a loss of about 1 yard in the actually about 2 yards in the App State backfield.
TD Roof, again, making a big play there. Again, TD Roof has just been a beast the last couple ball games, getting in the backfield, and that's one of those havoc plays. You know, havoc play is a play where it's a tackle for a loss or a sack, and again, Roof coming from his outside linebacker position, just getting in the backfield, making a play. Great job.
Third tackle in the game for Roof, 2 of them for loss. Jalen Thomas, the setback, he'll take the handoff and try to get off right guard again across the 5-yard line back up to the 6. This is kind of tread water territory for Elon. Dangerous field position, especially with an App State defensive front that can really put the pressure on.
The dangerous field position. Anytime you're in your opponent's inside the 10 or inside the 20, you really don't want to throw the football, because again, you know, 2 bad things can happen: incomplete plus an interception. And so you want to call it conservatively, but I surmise they'll run another running play here and be punting the football to Appalachian.
Thomas.
But you got to back out of the backfield, so they may throw it to the perimeter.
That's Thomas moving out wide to the bottom of your screen.
Pressure's coming.
Pete across the middle, and the pass is caught, but short of the first down gain. That's Daughtry again on the grab. I'll give him the 13-yard line, had to get to the 15, so that'll bring up 4th down and short, and Elon will have to punt out of their own territory, pretty deep at that.
Actually, good call by Davis Cheek on that play, DJ. Again, the safety, everybody came, they blitzed, and he threw to the area where the blitzers were coming from. And if he could have shaken a tackle, he could have still been running.
Jeff York, an opportunity to uncork one here, all-state punter in high school. Second best weekend in the CAA to start the season with his effort against Wofford from his own goal line. Spiraling kick. Hennigan thought about it for a moment and will instead go fair catch, and App State will have another possession when we come back from the timeout. No movement here. 10-point lead for the black and gold. Back to Kid Brewer Stadium. David Jackson, Avery Hall with you. 13-3 App State in front by 10. You see Bear Hunter there. Captains doing what captains do. Trying to get the troops fired up a little bit as the App State chant comes from a crowd that has been largely silent this afternoon. Elon has kept the tempo of this game and the momentum of this game on their sideline. And this ruckus crowd at the Rock hasn't been able to explode too many times since the long Malik Williams touchdown. Elon has kind of kept things in check, and now a pass down the far sideline and a nice circus catch by Jalen Virgil. Inside the 30, let's check it again.
Good job by, good protection up front. Bryce, good read, taking his time, throwing the football, back shoulder. Great job of coming back to the football by Jalen Virgil, hanging on to the football and possessing it. Awesome job.
Trayvon Jones got back to him in a hurry, trying to dislodge that football. 1st and 10 Mountaineers. Little shoulder fake going toward the corner. Sutton thrown to the ground. And here comes the flag, much to the chagrin of the Elon defensive backfield.
I tell you what, you know, he's upset, Shamari Wingard, the freshman cornerback, but that was pass interference, and that was a late call. And they can say the ball was not catchable, but it wasn't catchable because of the DB pushing the receiver. If you take a look at this, they're running down the field. He pushes the guy down. So obviously he cannot get to the football because of the push. And I know Shamari Wingard is not happy about that, but young man, that's a pass interference in Pop Warner football.
So 1st and 10 App State inside the red zone, and an official red zone trip for the first time today.
It's good that ASU is getting into the red zone again. 0 opportunities in the red zone in the first half, and this is where you want to make hay and be very productive, and not just getting a field goal, but scoring a touchdown.
It's a good thing that neither team has been in the red zone. Scott Hansen would be bored out of his mind right now.
Well, they're going to back it up 5 yards. The whole left side of the offensive line moved. Anderson Hardy, Damian Daly, those guys were in a hurry to try and knock Elon off the ball.
There have been 9 penalties now in the game. I believe, if my count is right, this is the 5th false start penalty combined against both teams. And that's all come very recently, as you mentioned earlier here. Kind of slow start to this third quarter. App State in the red zone, still in the red zone after the penalty, trying to punch one in here against Elon. Again, you look back to that first quarter, fumble into the end zone by Corey Sutton, kept points off the board on App State's opening drive. It was a crisp one, but points don't count if you don't score them, and that's where we see this game still stuck at a 10-point margin.
And maybe these guys are excited. I mean, they're playing at home in front of a big crowd. Again, it's been 651 days since we had a crowd here at Kid Brewer Stadium. So maybe we can blame it on nerves, DJ. But again, the false starts, you know that it's plausible for Elon's offensive line when you got 4 freshmen on the front line. But on ASU's offensive line, where you got a couple juniors and really a senior leading calling the play call at center, you really don't want to see any false starts.
Nate Noel on the carry for 3 yards, brought down by Marcus Hillman. Brings up 2nd down and 13. App State settled for 1 field goal just outside the red zone. Actually, a pair of them today. Over toward the sideline, another catch by Christian Wells. Or check that, Mike Evans, the tight end. First throw to a tight end today. And that'll bring the Mountaineers back within the sticks, bring up 3rd down and 9.
That was good job by Mike Evans, because he actually lined up in the slot and looked as if he was going to go block, and then did the short in route across the field, and good throw by Davis Cheek as well. I'm sorry, not Davis Cheek, by Chase Bryce.
Well, the protection on 3rd down and 9. Ball at the Elon 12. Big opportunity here. Noel trying to get the corner. Turn it back inside. And gobbled up on the sideline, short of the 6-yard line. Also short of the 1st down marker.
You know, this 3-3-5 defense, I'm starting to buy into it a little bit. And I say buy into it a little bit, DJ, because really you have 4 safeties on the field.
Going forward on 4th down here. 4th and 4. Noel up the middle. Stutter steps. 1st down, gain to the 2. If the mark is the 2 or inside the 3, that should be enough for a Mountaineer 1st down. The line to gain was to the near side of the 3-yard line, and he got it just across enough. They may bring the chains out for this one, but I think Noel should have the 1st down on the spot.
I think that's going to be a 1st down. And if he didn't lose his footing there, he would probably have gotten into the end zone.
Think things are getting a little antsy, going for it for 4th and 4 inside the 10.
You know what? The expectations are higher, and Coach Clark is. I mean, you know, he's feisty when it comes to being aggressive and wanting to win and be successful.
It's an O lineman as a head coach. You think you can get 2 or 3 yards when you need to do it.
That's that blue collar mentality. He expects his guys to be able to get 4 yards in a situation like that.
App State now 2 of 4 on 3rd down, or rather on 4th down conversions this year. So that'll bring up 1st and goal from the Elon 3.
No, I was talking about Elon's 3-3-5. You know, people are probably surprised at the speed, because, you know, that previous play before the 4th down play, they chased Noel down. But keep in mind, they got 5 defensive backs on the field and really 4 safeties.
Tight end on either side of Bryce. Henry Pearson. Over on the left, the handoff goes to Noel, and he's wrestled to the turf again. Trey Alsbrooks on the stop just shy of the 2.
You know, a lot of Appalachian fans probably say, well, you know, Noel's running the ball now. What happened to Cam Peoples? You know, talking with Coach Frank Puntz, the offensive coordinator. He said, listen, there's no rotation in how we put the backs in. All we want are fresh legs. And we want fresh legs because we don't want a guy turning the football over because he's tired. So, again, that's how he rotates his backs.
Noel up the gut again. Stops shy at the 1-yard line. Pile of Phoenix defenders in there. I'll bring up 3rd down and goal from the 1.5. App State has converted a 4th and 4 on this drive inside the 15-yard line.
Bring that up about the backs. You know, DJ, in the red zone, you're on the 2 or 3 yard line. You'd say you want a 6'2", 220-pound back in there versus a 5'10", 190-pound back. But again, he right now Noel must have the fresh legs. Plus, he runs bigger than 5'10", 190. I'm telling you, he runs much bigger than that.
Ready to go on a handoff fake. It's Bryce across, touchdown, App State. Chase Bryce with the QB sneak. It's the footwork of the Mountaineer signal caller that gets App State into the end zone for the second time today.
Chase does a good job of reading the defensive end as well as the outside linebacker on that side. They both decide to go inside. Good job good read by Chase there.
Staten on for the PAT. And a little breathing room for App State. Trying to go up 17 here at the Rock. PAT is good. Chase Bryce good at finishing off the drive.
Take a look at this.
Stingy territory here.
Defensive end comes inside. Outside linebacker overruns it a little bit, but just good decision by Chase to take it in and put it in the end zone.
20-3, App State leading the Phoenix at the Rock. North Carolina's Band of Distinction getting to play after the touchdown run. 7-play, 55-yard drive, 3:08 off this third quarter clock. Chase Bryce in to the end zone from 1 yard out. Bryce has thrown for one, rushed for one, and App State badly needed a touchdown on that drive, Avery Hall, to try to feel a little distance here in this now 17-point game.
Not a perfect drive, but it was an effective drive. We scored, so Appalachian has something to kind of build some momentum on.
Elon returned by Moyer out to the 24-yard line. So now we'll see what kind of answer Davis Cheek has. When you're down 17, you might not be able to play the short passing game that Elon has played so effectively. So if the Phoenix are going to try to stretch the field, how are they best positioned to do so?
I tell you what, they're best positioned to kind of do what they've been doing. Davis Cheek has had a lot of time to sit back in the pocket and go through all of his reads, and he's making good decisions. But Dave, it's not really what Elon should do. I think it's what Appalachian should do. I think they should start putting a lot of pressure on Davis Cheek. I'm not saying exotic blitzes, but put more pressure on him to make him get a little rattled and make him uncomfortable in the pocket, because right now he has ample amount of time and he's doing a great job of finding the right receivers.
A timeout taken by Elon as the Phoenix got lined up and thought better of their opportunity here. So the Phoenix take the timeout, and that will stop play with 8:24 to go here in the third quarter. Tight turnaround for App State as they will get ready to face the Marshall Thundering Herd in here. It's kind of like rivalry week all of a sudden. You bring an old SoCon foe and Elon. Avery Hall, you remember what it was like to play against Marshall.
My God, I get chill bumps thinking about it. Marshall back in the day had very good football teams. You know, they were like Furman as a thorn in Appalachian's side. We would beat Marshall. Matter of fact, I only lost one time to Marshall in my 4 years, David Jackson. But they won 2 national titles during that time. So they were like a thorn in our side. It was always a competitive football game. They always had pretty good, well, not pretty good. They had always had great athletes, skill positions, big guys up front. And it's just going to be, they're from West Virginia. It's going to be a blue-collar type football game. And a lot of their fans still remember the rivalry. Our fans remember the rivalry. So next Thursday night should be special in Boone here.
7:30 kickoff on the mothership. Little flea flicker action. Here comes pressure. Taylor nearly gets him on the sideline as he chases him out of bounds. That's Davis Cheek running for his life after Trey Cobb whiffed on him. Demetrius Taylor was closing in on him on the flea flicker.
I tell you what, Davis Cheek showed a little more speed than I anticipated. Trey Cobb was on it. If you take a look at this, he you know, little trick play here. Cheek tries to roll out. Cobb is not slow, so Cheek showed a little speed there. He's 6'3", 217 pounds, and showed a little mobility there.
All that running for 1 yard. Call it 2nd down and 9. Twin receivers. Toward the left, it's a right side pass and a curl route caught, and then some after the fact. Down the sideline and finally pushed out of bounds by Nick Ross. That's a big gain for the Elon Phoenix. Jackson Parham stretching the field.
I take Good throw by Cheek. Good job of using the ref as interference. You really can't see the ref, but the player felt the ref's presence, and so he slowed down. But good job by the receiver there.
44 yards to Parham for the first down. Jackson Parham now with 5 catches for 83 yards. Cheek having to throw out of bounds. A little bit more pressure that time as Demetrius Taylor got into the screen there. Brings up second down and 10.
I tell you, great way to respond by Elon. ASU comes out, scores, takes it up to 20-3. This is a very, very effective drive by Elon. A great way to respond.
We talked about stretching the field. Parham has been the top target so far today. That's 8 targets. He's had 5 catches for 83 yards. Run play up the middle doesn't go anywhere. So now Elon with third down and 10. App State's middle of that defense, anchored today by DeMarco Jackson, has been a little bit tougher to move in between the tackles.
I tell you what, that was just a good play by DeMarco Jackson again, making a great play and stuffing the offensive line and then putting stuff in the back in the hole. But he also respected the run because they had thrown 2 plays, which would have, had his mind thinking pass again, but he did a good instinctive job by playing the run.
Only 37 rushing yards today by the Phoenix, 210 total. That's 173 in the air for Davis Cheek on 18 of 25 passing.
Did we miss something?
A penalty against App State. That will actually make this second down and 5. So the Mountaineers with an opportunity on third and long defense now will defend second down and 5 from just outside the 25-yard line. New life for Davis Cheek and company. Play action. Pass caught inside the 10. First down, Phoenix. That's Cortez Weeks on the grab inside the Mountaineer 10-yard line, and Weeks makes his 4th catch of the day.
I tell you, Cortez Weeks has had coming into this ball game over 12 catches, so he's been very active, and he does a great job of separating from defenders and finding a seam in that zone coverage there. Did blitz the outside linebacker on that side, but still too much open area over on that far right side for Weeks there.
And Weeks is a bit shaken up on the sideline, so that'll stop play here and give these two teams a chance to get this chess match moving.
You know, DJ, when you watch Davis Cheek throw the football around, you know, he's 445 yards. Well, he was 445 yards away from moving into second place on Elon's program history's career passing chart. But to put things in proper perspective, he'll move into second place pretty soon in a couple ball games, but he'll have to get 13,000 yards to catch Scott Riddle.
I don't think it's happened.
At Elon. And you know, Davis Cheek has had a productive career at 6,000 yards throwing the football, but he'd have to get 13,000 to pass the #1 guy.
A couple of playoff opportunities, just like Scott Riddle. Those were some of the more decorated postseason quarterbacks in Elon history for sure. Weeks out. Cheek, play action, looking for the tight end, and overthrows Donovan Williams in the seam. Second down coming up. Second and goal from the 9. Cortez Weeks going out gives Elon fans a moment's pause. Injuries were such a problem in the spring. You hate to see a guy like Weeks, the senior out of West Rowan High School down in Mount Ulla. You don't want to see a senior that can have the impact that Weeks has shown today.
And you know, Weeks missed most of 2020 with an injury, as well as the offensive line.
Another fake stretch play, and the ball picked off in the end zone by the black and gold. TD Roof coming out with it. Roof with a convoy down the sideline as he crosses midfield. Flag on the play as Roof is still in space. To the 10-yard line. Mountaineers reverse field, but hold everything. There's a flag back at the 50. The turnover should likely stand as TD Roof cements his imprint on this Mountaineer defense.
I tell you what, is that Davis Cheek down? I can't see on the far sideline.
No, that's an offensive lineman.
It's an offensive lineman?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't really see. People are huddled around him, but where that flag was thrown, there's going to probably be a block in the back or something on the return team.
The Roof's interception should stand as Cheek tried to go across the middle on the play fake. And TD Roof caught the deflection and took it back. His first turnover of the year. And I tell you what, the senior with a little bit of burst.
Oh yeah, but you know
He's
what?
like an endurance runner. Don't match up on him in a 5K.
He's going to go to the sideline and ask for some oxygen, though, and he's going to hope and pray that Appalachian sustains a drive.
Here's Marshall Lewis.
Wow, that was on Elon. Wow.
So we've got.
Let's take a look at this, man. Wow. It looks like Davis tried. He had a wide open receiver. If you take a look at it, wide open, threw it behind him a little bit, which allowed TD Roof to pick it off. A little tip drill, volleyball drill. And look there again. If he had thrown it a little ahead of the receiver, it would have been a touchdown. And that's why they say football is a game of inches. You throw that football a little further in front of the receiver, it's a touchdown. But behind him, Appalachian's on the 5-yard line going in after an INT.
Tell you, Dante Small threw a couple of blocks on that return back to spring TD Roof free. Roof's had a big day, couple tackles for loss, an interception, and an official return of 90 yards, and then tack on the 5. He was about 4 yards deep in the end zone. As you see, App State's turnover prowess, 103 interceptions since 2015. Tops of the list.
I think that makes it 104 going into, because it was 103 after last week.
Handoff fake to Peoples. It's Bryce on the move to the 1-yard line. I tell you what, the QB runs one in, he wants another one.
I tell you what, well, and you know what? That's taking what the defense gives you. Again, he's reading either the defensive end or he's reading that walk down safety, and that's just taking what the defensive end gives you. If he comes down and crashes on the back, you keep it, and if he doesn't, you give it to the running back. That RPO, as we make it, we over-engineer it sometimes. It is pretty simple.
Caleb Sperlin in that fullback spot. Peoples runs right behind him and into the end zone. Touchdown, black and gold. Cam Peoples into the end zone for the first time today, and the Mountaineers starting to spread this thing out here at the Rock.
I tell you what, nice run. You know, he reminds me of a Eric Dickerson type run. Again, when he runs the football, he runs high, but he runs powerful, and he keeps his eyes up on the defender and does a good job of cutting and making people miss.
18th career touchdown on the ground for Peoples, his 4th rushing score of the year. Staten on for the PAT. And the Mountaineers a point after away from a 24-point lead. Kick on its way. Staten remains perfect. Let's check Cam Peoples running on the train tracks.
Here again, just nice read there. Good job by. Did you see Caleb Sperlin making a good block?
Sperlin clearing the way for a 27-3 lead at the Rock. Cam Peoples into the end zone for the 4th time. Sunbelt's leading rusher, 3rd in scoring heading into the weekend. He finds pay dirt for the 4th time this year. Mountaineers lead 27-3 at the Rock. David Jackson, Avery Hall back with you as Elon Phoenix and DJ Moyer will try to bring it out. Moyer's got some real estate if he can get to the corner at the 20-yard line, and that real estate hems up on him pretty fast. With a flying tackling attempt there of Jordan Hillig. He went end over end like he was somersaulting at the end of a triple jump.
You know, that was called, you know, I slowed down a little bit because I thought he was going to be tackled. Now I better kind of turn on the burners. But
you got the kicking net over there to deal with as well.
You know, I cringed when I saw him bring that out of the end zone, but he made it very productive.
We got an injured Elon player down. That is Luis Duarte, redshirt freshman out of Dudley High School down in Greensboro. The temperature has cooled off here. You know, a little rainbow here over Kid Brewer Stadium. It is raining like on the other side of campus. We can see it from here. If you're at the Plemmons Student Union right now, you're getting soaked. Here at the Rock, it's dry for the moment.
It looks like the pot of gold is at the Plemmons Student Union.
It could be
at the end of the rainbow.
There is an ATM over there. I don't know if that's where the rainbow is pointing to, but
that's a beautiful rainbow.
We've had a few of those here. I remember the Montana game back in 2012. That was one of that's the famous rainbow game. There are a ton of pictures that are circulating around from that contests. Marie Freeman had one of the best ones.
Do you think the folks in the science department have called a lab class real quick to study it? You know,
I think if you were the one over that program, they might have.
Appalachian.
That's a tough text to get at the football game. Hey guys, Roy G. Biv here on the text. We've got work to do.
Yeah.
All right. Davis Cheek down 24. Score not showing how tight Elon kept this in the first half. Remember, we had a 10-point game at the break, but App State has done what Sean Clark hoped App State would do, take advantage of opportunities. The TD Roof 90-yard interception return set up a short field score. App State's defense bent but didn't break. And now you've got an opportunity here to force field position after a 1-yard gain for Elon on the first play of the ensuing drive. Still 5.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 5 wide. Davis Cheek going to try to air it out a little bit. We saw the nice throw to Jackson Parham on the last drive. Now throwing off his back foot. Dangerous throw out of bounds. Brings up third down.
DJ, that's the type pressure that Appalachian should have been getting on Cheek in the first half, and then they finally put a little pressure on him, and they're forcing him to throw off his back foot. And obviously, they're making him uncomfortable, and that forced an errant throw. And that's what you got to do with Davis Cheek. Because if you sit around and let him sit back there and get comfortable, he'll definitely pick you apart.
Davis Cheek completed his 500th career pass earlier today. Sean Clark actually recruited him out of Butler High School, said he was a gritty player that would give App State problems with his versatility, and that was the case in the first half for sure. 3rd down and 9. Cheek with pressure. Demetrius Taylor hits him as he throws, and that ball off the pads of Dante Small in coverage, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
Wow, this ball hits off the top of his helmet. Boink.
Doink.
If you see that there, but hey, good position. He was in good position. He was leveraging the sideline. Again, once again, Appalachian put great pressure on Davis Cheek to make him get rid of that ball before he really wanted to, which is why he underthrew it.
That is excellent camera work by our ESPN Plus crew. You could feel the doink with the tightness of that shot. 4th down and 9 on the punt is Jeff Yerk.
Hey, hopefully they won't put him in concussion protocol because of that. No, I'm just kidding.
Malik Williams back to return. He's going to let this one roll, pick it up on the scoop, and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. 4:49 to play in the third quarter. App State back to it from an offensive standpoint. What do you need to see, Avery, from an offensive perspective from App State to close out this third quarter? I know they're going to get an opportunity if this thing continues to go the way it's going to get some other players some reps here, but I feel like Frank Ponce and crew still want to see a few things here.
I think they do. And again, I think it's too early to bring in folks. You know, Coach Frank Ponce talked about the fundamentals, of everything that they do from an offensive perspective. They still have to show that they can be fundamentally sound throughout this football game.
Jameer Smith gets his first carry of the ball game and is met quickly by Marvion Field, the redshirt freshman out of Hampton, Georgia at defensive end. Remember, Torrance Williams went out earlier, so Field getting a little time at that end spot. No gain on the play, brings up 2nd down and 10.
You go back to fundamentals. I mean, Chase has had if you just look at statistics, he's had a very good game, but I'm sure he wanted a more crisp football game. And if you look at the rushing attack, we're not over 100 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Right at 100 yards. Play action fake, pass down the seam. Virgil had it, and it's broken up. Nice closing speed there by Shamari Wingard to break up the pass to Jalen Virgil. Let's check it again.
Again, decent throw, but you kind of want to have Virgil come back to. I know it's hard, but you kind of want to have him come back to this somewhat because, again, good position by the defensive back. Again, the long arm, you're taught by your position coach to keep that long arm free and the short arm on that wide receiver so you can feel where he is. But good job of knocking that ball down with that long arm.
3rd down and 10. Jameer Smith, the Notre Dame transfer at running back. 3 receivers up top for Chase Bryce. 17 of 23 in the passing game. Underneath route, Corey Sutton looking to release on the sideline. Depending on the footwork, should have the 1st down and does so. That is a super senior's footwork on the Elon sideline for the 1st down.
First of all, nice drag route across the middle of the field. But excellent job of knowing where the first down marker is, DJ, and getting there. You know, turning on the jets and stretching the ball a little bit to get there. Field awareness, and again, super senior, that's what they do.
Corey Sutton hoping for the full season. He hasn't had one since 2018. Showcase his skills and a shot at the next level. Bryce with pressure. That ball is out, and it's picked off. Elon with the football, and an opportunity for a return.
That was a busted play from the start. If you if you get a chance to take a look at it, busted play.
Trayvon Jones was right there on it.
Again, before that play, before he made that, he was hit by the defender. It's like he paused because of the route of the receiver. It's like he was thrown off. So that was a busted play, which allowed for Elon to create a havoc play there.
How about Trayvon Jones' second interception of the year, his third takeaway in the last 2 weeks. And now Elon all of a sudden inside the Mountaineer 40 off their second turnover of the day. Again, you look at what Billy Crocker has done on the takeaway element of things since he's become the defensive coordinator at Elon. That is just textbook Phoenix defense.
Tell you what, that was a great job. You see T.D. Roof coming up to make the play. I keep wanting to say Ted because his daddy was a good football player in the state of Georgia too, and I know his dad. But T.D. Roof coming up and making the play. But what you did not see, if you didn't pay close attention, great job by Tommy Dawkins. Again, keeping containment, keeping the running back going sideline to sideline versus going north. So good job by the defensive end there.
Malik Griffin picks up 3 yards, 2nd down and 7. Inching toward the 30-yard line or the Phoenix. Down 27-3, Elon needs points. They have not had much go right in the offensive spectrum here in this second half. Again, Griffin gets the scene. Griffin's a speedster. His cousin DeAndre Swift with the Lions. He's been limited in practices this week if you're curious about that on your fantasy team. But he's got a similar burst when he gets that seam. I mean, you're talking about a quick step and release. We've seen some evidence of that here on these last couple run plays.
He's a fast back, and that's why you just say kudos to ASU for making sure they're playing assignment football or alignment football. They all stayed in their gap and stretched that play out to keep him from bursting it.
3rd down and 7. Elon today 2 of 9 on 3rd down, well south of their normal productivity. One of the top 5 3rd down conversion offenses in the Colonial heading into play here in week 3. Cheek in trouble. Here come the Mountaineers. Going against his body. He's got a safety valve caught there at the 20-yard line. That's Witherspoon out of the backfield, still on his feet inside the 10. And that's a 1st down for the Phoenix. Great patience there by Davis Cheek to make that play happen.
Great patience, but look at here. Witherspoon did exactly what he's supposed to do. The closest receivers goes long, the deepest comes short. He stretched that and stayed a little deep for Davis Cheek to get the football to him.
Sideline route, not quite to the goal line there. That's Brayboy's first catch. He's been quieted after an explosive first quarter of play. So Brayboy gets Elon inside the 5. They'll call it 1st and goal from the 2, or check that 2nd and goal from the 2. Witherspoon and Daughtry in the backfield along with Davis Cheek. Elon trying to put points on the board off the turnover. They scored points off both of the turnovers forced last week by Trayvon Jones. 10 of them in that comeback win against Campbell. He's trying to give them 6 more. Cheek with time, bouncing.
Lots of time.
Bouncing. Pressure starting to come. He'll heave this toward the back pylon, incomplete.
Again, too much time, and when he finally got pressure, it made him, kind of overthrow the receiver. But I tell you what, ASU just, we've got too good of. Appalachian State has too good of a defensive line not to get pressure on the quarterback, and Davis just has too much time.
3rd and goal at the 2-yard line. Elon has been shut out here in the 3rd quarter thus far. Had a pass picked off in the end zone on their last drive. Witherspoon, the setback. He'll get the handoff, stutter steps it across the goal line for the touchdown. McKinley Witherspoon's 2nd rushing score of the year keeps Elon in it here late in the 3rd.
I tell you, he's 5'9", 195 pounder from High Brighton, like you said, in Lenore. He's making the folks in Lenore proud. Again, hard running, moving forward and falling forward, following the big offensive lineman. Great job by McKinley Witherspoon.
Skylar Davis on for the PAT. Make it a 17-point game. Low snap. Clangs off and into the new money seats down there in the end zone, but Skylar Davis provides a nice appetizer into a plate here. Let's check McKinley Witherspoon.
Nice handoff, good adjustment, stutter step there, cutting a little bit, and just really that's want to, that's desire. I'm getting in the end zone, and I'm gonna take a few people with me.
Wander around the rock as a youngster, finding pay dirt here as an Elon running back, McKinley Witherspoon. Maybe a couple pictures in there as well. Why not the selfie?
Well, that's when you want to say, son, the score is, 27 to 10. I mean, but you know what? 27 to 10. Does that bring back memories? That was a score down at Rose Stadium when they had the largest crowd in their history. And in 2009, when they were ranked number 6, and Appalachian was ranked number 5.
App State got 21 points out of the gate in about the first 2 minutes of that game. 2 of them came off Mark Legree interceptions. Legree was inducted into the App State Hall of Fame earlier today. There have been some memorable games between these two. Elon could never quite get over the hump in the Southern Conference. They found their way into the playoffs a few times. In the Colonial, they have looked like a playoff team here today as Hennigan takes the kickoff back across the 30-yard line up to about the 31. We've got 39 seconds left here in this third quarter of action as the Mountaineer offense will come back out. So one of the things I think on the stat sheet that will give pause in a short week will be the turnover bug once again. Appalachian State -1 today in that category. You see the fumble in the end zone, the interception. It feels like almost too much effort. Is that, Corey Sutton trying to stretch one out, trying to score there at the first quarter. Bryce maybe hanging on too long. Is that like a psyche turnover, if that makes sense?
No, that's really trying to do too much. Go ahead, take what you have when you receive, you're kind of receiving the football, get as many yards as you can. Chase hanging on to the football a little too long there. Those were the issues with those turnovers. But again, those are things that you can correct.
Nate Noel back at the running back spot. Trying to get a crease and does so into the second level up to the 41-yard line. A 7-yard pickup for Nate Noel. Appalachian State's rushing attack is pretty well spread out. About 116 yards on the ground. Nate Noel now accounting for 57 of those yards. Not a huge running day today.
Not a huge running day. And we're talking about an Appalachian State program that has been in the top 16 in rushing the last 6 or 7 years. We're talking about averaging 265 yards per game, 275 yards per game, 250 yards per game. So 116 is not a good day for this Appalachian offense.
Noel to the 45-yard line, and that'll do it here for this third quarter of play. App State up 17 here at Kid Brewer Stadium. Nate Noel and crew moving the football here as we head to the fourth quarter. 27-10, App State leads it at the Rock. We start fourth quarter play here at the Rock, Kid Brewer Stadium, with App State leading Elon 27-10. Mountaineers with third down and short, failing to convert on that third down play. So we'll see what Sean Clark will elect to do here. It'll be a loss of 2 yards. So punt unit coming out here to flip the field position with just under 15 minutes remaining in this contest. We're going to continue Nostalgia Day for you here. I understand for some of you it's kind of been like that today, and see the old school helmets on the team. They've got the 1989 look. You've heard the Hall of Famer Avery Hall on the dial. Well, we've got one better for you here in just a moment. After this botch punt, we will let you know that the former head coach of the Black and Gold, Jerry Moore, getting ready to join us here for a few moments. Coach, always great to see you.
Well, it's fun to be here.
It's been like Where's Waldo today, man. You have been everywhere. We saw you on the track. We saw you in the stands. We saw you in the plaza.
Yeah.
You've had the smile on your face a little bit today.
It's been a great day. Our whole family's been here. Scott, of course, Chris coached for me, or us, and Scott, our other son's a doctor, emergency room doctor in Wisconsin, and he's here. So it's been a great time for Margaret and I.
Let's start first with something topical here on this ball game. Coach, you remember some of those battles with the Elon Phoenix. When Pete Lembo took that program over and brought Elon up to the top of the Southern Conference pecking order. Those were some of the annual battles that people circled on their calendars, right?
I'm telling you, and they played that way today. They're well coached, and the kids, their men are playing hard.
Cheek incomplete on first down. Good pressure there for the Mountaineers. He's 21 of 34 in the passing game, 223 yards, 1 interception. Elon has moved the football 266 yards total. Neither team has rushed the ball a ton here this afternoon. 2nd down and 10 coming up as we visit with the Hall of Fame legendary coach Jerry Moore. Had his statue unveiled in the Jerry Moore Plaza a little bit earlier this afternoon. I don't know exactly what it feels like to have a statue, but Coach, I would imagine after this play you can tell us a little bit about what that's like and what that experience was like this morning as Cheek completes the underneath pass. About a 7-yard pickup there for Cortez Weeks. Good to see him back on the field after being hurt earlier. A 3rd down and short coming up. So what was the experience like? How do you even stand in to get a statue made of yourself?
I don't know where it all started, but Susie Haller did it for us. Her father did the Yosef statue by the pond here, and she did. It was fun just to be out there with Margaret, and I went out there, and she different measurements and things like that. And then shortly after that, we began to see a little bit of the finished product.
Cheek on 3rd down, receiver slips, and a flag comes in there late. Ronald Clark was in coverage. That was Daughtry on the slip. And we'll see how that gets sorted out. Coach, you had an opportunity last night to speak with a group of alums and a lot of friends of the program. I'll call them longtime fans. You made the joke that we were going to have to eat pancakes and sausage because you were going to talk for a while. But the depth and quality of the stories last night, just I think a testament to what you meant to this program, but what Appalachian football meant to people for a long stretch of time.
Well, I touched on earlier my background a little bit, and at one point I thought I was out of coaching. Dr. Thomas and Jim Garner offered me an opportunity here, and I thought I'd be here a couple years, and it turned out I was still here.
After the penalty, Phoenix get the football on the pass interference. That's DJ Moyer on the carry. Pickup of 1 brings up 2nd down and 9. You know, one of the things that stood out last night was your memory about individuals. You were talking about where people were in the locker room when they gave such speeches. We asked Sean Clark about his recruiting visit with you, and he said that when he came to Boone, you guys went to brunch at the Broyhill, and that's kind of where it all started. What do you remember about recruiting the current head coach of the Mountaineers?
Well, number one, we had already had a good player from there, Dexter Coakley. And Sean was, of course, a 2-time All-American for us. And just his demeanor, as much as anything, he was very grounded and serious about what he wanted to do. He was a great deep snapper to begin with. And that was one of the things that attracted us to him. And then just how hard he worked. And just a great personality, locker room personality, practice personality.
3rd down and 12 coming up here for Davis Cheek, trying to keep this Elon drive alive. Spinning around, turf a little bit wet with a few little rain showers, and that's it. Cheek finally taken down. DeMarco Jackson's had quite a day. He gets to him again, and that'll bring up 4th down here for the Phoenix. Coach, you mentioned that work ethic, and you talked a little bit about the value of walk-on players last night. There was a scholarship donation made that you have said that you'd like to see go to a walk-on player. While Coach Clark might not have been a walk-on for you necessarily, it was that spirit of development. You have had on your staff for years coaches that get the best out of players. Can you touch on just what that's meant to the overall development of the program during your tenure here?
Well, just they're important. I think one of the best things that's happened to me in my coaching career was when I went to the University of Nebraska. And Nebraska plays very average high school football. And we had a lot of walk-ons there. That was my first association, really, with how important numbers are, and good numbers.
We've got a special teams miscue that we'll sort out after the break and continue our conversation with head coach Jerry Moore of the Mountaineers. His team, 27-10, they lead the Phoenix. We're back at the Rock, 27-10, Appalachian State on top of Elon. Let's check what happened here on this punt. You see Thomas Hennigan call fair catch, and then there's just a little bit of chaos. App State blocked into the play, so it will be Mountaineer football after all of that is sorted out. Of course, Elon thought maybe they had an opportunity to say that App touched it first, but instead being blocked into it. Now the Mountaineers with the football at midfield, driving up 17 points here on their home field with 11:41 to play in the game. Chase Bryce back at quarterback. We're continuing our conversation with the Hall of Fame coach Jerry Moore as Bryce goes to work. Has the pass out on the far sideline to Christian Wells, who catches near a first down gain. Coach, one of the things we've been talking about today is the consistency of this program overall. You started so many traditions here. One of those was the Wednesday night fire. It's been talked about a lot here. It's a tradition Coach Clark has kept. I know Coach Satterfield does it at Louisville. Eli Drinkwitz does it now at Missouri. But what did that Wednesday night ritual mean to you and your staff?
It was a great release for us. It's right after practice. We'd all go out to Dr. Furman's.
There goes Cam Peoples. He's going to interrupt you with a touchdown, maybe. Tripped up at the 20-yard line. First down gain for Peoples and the Mountaineers.
Touchdowns are a little bit better than country fires. But Dr. Furman started with us back in the early 90s. It just started off just the two of us, and then three, and then Ruffin McNeil, and then Gary Griffin, some of those old names. And then it got to where the whole staff went out there as soon as practice was over. And we got hamburgers and stuff from Wendy's, and it was kind of a devotional men's.
There goes Peoples. He wants to get to the fire. Touchdown, black and gold. Cam Peoples in for the second time today. Coach, I would imagine you'd like to.
I'd like to make a call like you do. I still remember Michigan, the last on the block front, block field goal.
That might not have been as dramatic as that moment, but hey, we'll take it.
They all count.
That's right. Cam Peoples with another touchdown run for the Apps. Give him 11 carries on the day now, or check that, 12 carries on the day, 80 yards rushing, and a pair of scores. And Appalachian State gets back that touchdown they gave up. An opportunity for a 24-point lead yet again on Staten's PAT. And that PAT is up and good. Coach, we will now, uninterrupted, let you finish up. Actually, I want you to talk about this play right here. How about Cam Peoples?
I think he's a terrific runner. I came to practice last Tuesday week, and I watched him stretch, and I watched all the practice, and I went up and ate with him. And I was impressed the way Sean and the rest of the coaches worked, and the attention that the players had. It was just it was an awesome thing. It's no surprise to me how well they're playing.
Well, and that's one of the final things I'd like to ask you about. You've got the bloodlines that are still here. You've got guys like Sean Clark, obviously the head of the program. Dale Jones has been here for a long time. There's continuity in people that you either worked with or that worked for people that you helped groom in the industry. Tradition is hard to build at a school, but Appalachian State's got such a solid foundation. And you're a big part of that. I mean, it's got to be magical to sit here and watch this and know that your stamp is on this no matter what.
After I'd been here a couple of years, and then John Settle worked for me one spring, and he made the statement to me, and I locked onto it. Tradition never graduates. And so we've tried to just keep the same format. Sometimes you make some changes in things, and you hope that they're good and they'll make things better. But just tradition. And we've tried to stay with those things. We didn't have to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Nick Cardwell is a guy, we were talking about walk-on kids. He was a corner when he was a junior in high school, a guard when he was a senior. he was not a great athlete, and he came in here as a walk-on football player. He's a leader. His junior and senior year were national championship years.
And you see that fire that they just had on the screen there. Coach Cardwell, as you mentioned, went from player at App State to a guy that sits around that fire now.
Oh, yeah.
And is part of the coaching lineage. And you've had a lot of folks, former players at not only the collegiate level, some of them professionally, some of them at your favorite part, the formative high school coaches now that are getting an opportunity to impart some of those things. Do you keep up with those guys much?
I do.
You travel around?
Yeah, I do.
I've seen the mileage on your car before. I know you travel to a game or two.
Yeah. Well, and my grandson's a coach now in
right.
Cupperson High School and just outside of Charlotte, and he's doing some of those things. So it's like I said, it's a tradition.
Well, Coach, it has been a sheer joy to watch you bounce around the facility here these last couple of days, and I know that you're going to be outside watching over us now, but come over and check on the statue every once in a while. Okay?
Oh, I will. I've got to
polish it up.
Yeah.
I know it'll probably be landscaped more effectively by the time you get done with it. But Coach, always great.
It's been a great day from all the Appalachian people. I can't thank them enough. And you're one of the guys that's right at the top. You've always been so generous with your time, and I love to hear you call a ball game.
Well, thank you, Coach, and it's great to see you back up here. I know we'll do it again soon.
Thank you.
All right. Jerry Moore, the Hall of Fame coach, Appalachian State honored here throughout the weekend. Dinner last night, statue unveiling at Jerry Moore Plaza just outside Kid Brewer Stadium here a little bit earlier today. We got 9 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Elon on the move now. Third down. Check that, a fourth down play now. Third down and 6. Phoenix failed to convert, so Appalachian State set to get it back in a 34-10 ball game. The Mountaineers have been able to stretch things out once again thanks to that offense. 442 total yards, and Camp People starting to become part of that storyline. 11 carries, 80 yards, the touchdown that Coach Moore said he saw the seeds of in practice just a little bit ago. Yerk on the opportunity to punt away. Malik Williams back to return for Appalachian State. And fair catch called for, and the catch made this time. Whole lot less controversial than what we saw earlier. Mountaineers, 34-10. They lead Elon here in the fourth quarter at the Rock. From high atop the Mark E. Riggs Athletic Complex here at Kid Brewer Stadium, David Jackson, Avery Hall, glad to be back with you here today. It's been a good day for the home team, 34-10, App State leading Elon. Avery Hall back in here with us after a chance to catch up with his old ball coach, Jerry Moore. And we see Jacob Huseman in at quarterback for the first time today, finding Thomas Hennigan over on the far sideline for about a 7-yard pickup. Avery, one of the things that we were talking with Coach about, just in that ability to sustain success, and he may have underplayed it a little bit. If you go back and look at the coaches that worked under Jerry Moore, I mean, you're talking Stacy Searles. I don't even want to start because the list goes so long, but the bloodlines of that program manifest and find themselves in so many other programs. Now, that's got to be a really neat thing for Coach to go back and look at now that his days are over, to be able to say, hey, look, I've impacted these many lives and these many programs.
Well, you see that a lot with the NFL. They talk about the coaching tree, but it's hard to enumerate Coach Moore's coaching tree because he's impacted so many young men. Now we can start right here with Dale Jones. We can start right here with Sean Clark. We can go to Scott Satterfield. We can go to Tim Horton. We can go all down the line. But he's kind of impacted a lot of folks. But Coach Moore, he's a great football coach, but he's just a better man. It was good to see him here in the booth, and told him I love him. He said, I love you. And, he was like a father figure to all of us. And so everybody knows about the football prowess and the 215 wins, the 3 national titles. But he's just a better man than he is a football coach.
Jacob Huseman with the sideline pass caught. And a near first down. That's Eli Wilson, the tight end. Awfully close to moving the sticks again. Yeah, I think you say that well, Avery. I think everybody's got a football story with Coach. I think everybody's got an off-the-field story with Coach Moore. And I tell you, Elon fans I know probably are tired of hearing about this, but I think what also needs to be said, he had a tremendous amount of respect for what Pete Lembo did as he came in 2006 to establish a program that became a perennial contender. Obviously, that sent Pete Lembo up the coaching ladder a little bit, but it was the way they did it that Coach always talked about. No cutting corners, recruiting incredibly well, instilling good values. That's how Elon was able to work their way to the top of a very tough Southern Conference at the time.
Listen, DJ, you know, a lot of people talk about success, but Coach Moore did it without any scandals.
Huseman going deep. Corey Sutton on the back-pedaling catch. First down, App State inside the 5.
So again, no scandals. And again, if you're going to build a house, build it brick by brick, and that's what he did, and that's what Coach Lembo did. And again, these guys didn't have scandals, you know, like a lot of these coaches. So just a job well done.
It was neat to hear. Jerry Moore was always on the SoCon teleconference right before Pete Lembo would get on there, and the two of them would get on early every once in a while and chit-chat back and forth. It's like two old friends talking on the phone. Nate Noel using the hand, trying to get his balance back and couldn't quite do it. Cole Coleman finally from the safety position is the one that tips over Noel, who fought, clawed, and scratched trying to get that corner there.
I'll tell you what, he slips a little bit here. Again, trying to get back and get a little what he can get, but runs into the arms of Cole Coleman as well as big Torrance Williams.
Good to see Torrance Williams back. We mentioned that Cortez Weeks was back in the football game earlier as well, and Huseman slips down. We had a rain shower. It wasn't a hard one. You could probably barely see it on the cameras. It was so light, but it has made this track slippery, both teams dealing with it. You mentioned shoe changes. I mean, not many of us take extra shoes on vacation, but teams play this kind of
you
thing.
do. You're talking about the Marshall rivalry earlier, David. We would take 2 pairs of shoes to Marshall because we felt like they put more sand on the field when we would come to town. And again, we took we took our regular cleats for turf, and then we took our turf cleats that had the longer cleats. And you just have to be prepared depending on the turf. And there are a lot of pellets in there that that'll have you slipping as well.
Huseman across the middle, nearly had his man. That was Deshaun Davis off his fingertips on the crossing route. That'll bring up 4th down, and Apps will send out the field goal team. I'd like to know how that assignment comes across the email. App State's coming. Somebody needs to go out and put more sand on the field.
Let's look at this replay. Nice throw, a little high, but it touches both hands. You want to see your receiver pull that down. Yeah, DJ, you'd be surprised at what some teams do for competitive advantage.
29-yard attempt for Staten, his 3rd field goal look of the day, and it is the 3rd one complete as well. So Chandler Staten, his 3rd boot of the day, makes it a 37-10 game here at the Rock. Hey, when you get a chance to come to Kid Brewer Stadium, you sing your favorite Luke Combs song in the stands. It's a happy day here at the Rock for the home team. Appalachian State up 37-10 on top of Elon here. David Jackson, Avery Hall with you as we come down the home stretch of this one. Avery, I think that this is a game where both teams have that first half to evaluate. I think Elon's got a lot of things that they want to build on off of that. I think Appalachian State probably likes the way the second half has transpired, in that when they've had opportunities to put this thing away, they've been able to do so. Absolutely.
Again, more crisp in this second half. Both teams are going to have a lot to, a little bit to work on. But you know what? Coach Trisciani probably feels really good about the game thus far. I mean, no one wants to lose, and they came here to win. But he's avoided major injuries. It's been a respectable football game. He's got to be pleased with the way his guys came out here and competed today.
You talk about spreading the football around. That was a big part of the plan today for Davis Cheek and company. We've seen 5 different Elon rushers. We've seen 8 different Elon receivers here today. So they've done what they've needed to do to distribute the football. And App State snuffing out that run. As we are seeing new players in the mix all the way around in this one. As Griffin on that last carry lost a yard.
Appalachian's got some new players in as well on defense, and some guys that are not even on the depth too deep chart here. So I guess now's that time we start seeing substitution players come in to the ball game.
And you get a chance to get on tape, get a chance to be evaluated by coaches. We've heard so many stories over the years about a player that gets into a game like this, as Griffin carries again for the Phoenix. Player gets in a game like this, all of a sudden they say, hey, we like the way you played that on defense. We're going to put you on special teams. And then that turns into a part-time role. And then all of a sudden you're starting safety. And, hey, it all started because you took advantage of opportunity.
The game of football, or with the game of football, you always want to be relevant. And relevant means showing up on tape, showing up making plays, showing up always hustling, showing up always working hard. And I will tell you, I don't know a good coach, that won't find a spot for a kid who shows up and makes plays and very productive.
3rd down and 7. This has been an Achilles heel for Elon today, only 3 of 13. Little sling pass off the side to Brayboy, fumble, ball on the field. App State's got it. We'll see if they count that as a catch. As long as they do, that's an App State turnover. Ronald Clark was there to pounce on it. Brayboy made a football move. That likely goes down as a fumble.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be a fumble. Ronald Clark, a 6 foot, 195-pound freshman out of Beaufort, Georgia, being in the right place at the right time. Take a look here. Good, solid lick, hits the ball, knocks it out. Ronald Clark in the right place at the right time. Watch this hit here.
Yeah, Logan Dublin on the tackle that
great
the ball
football
loose.
play. He didn't lead with the top of his helmet. He led with his shoulders, his face, and good job of knocking that ball loose.
So the Mountaineers with the football. Jacob Huseman back under center. A few new faces in there from the offensive perspective with 2:42 to go. App State up 37-10, and we have a whistle and a stoppage of play. Jacob Huseman, interesting, you talk about people's football lineage. Huseman was a pretty well-recruited quarterback out of Bradenton, Florida. He was recruited by North Dakota State right in the middle of their championship heyday. Carson Wentz was the QB at North Dakota State when Huseman was recruited to go there. Ended up coming to Appalachian State, had that big win over Coastal Carolina in a start in 2018. The Georgia Southern comeback in 2020. Captained the team for 6 of 11 plays on that game-winning drive that App State put it away. But Huseman was a guy that when he announced he was coming back, Sean Clark said, hey, talk about a super senior that lets the coach sleep at night. App had a transfer quarterback coming in and no real natural backup that had played a lot. And he said, we've got a backup QB that has played in games. I can put my head on the pillow at night and know that we've got somebody that can manage a game without having to learn how to manage a game at the same time.
I respect Huseman just because he didn't go to the transfer portal. I mean, you got a guy. Now, here's a guy who runs hard.
There's Anderson Castle, a hometown product, Watauga High School graduate. Had a fumble recovery in the East Carolina game on special teams, speaking of finding ways to make opportunities.
I tell you, he runs hard. I've come to a couple practices here in Boone, and he just works his tail off and works hard, and a very productive back. But going back to Huseman, he didn't enter the transfer portal any of these years when he was sitting behind Zach. He was sitting behind, now Chase. He took care of his business and handled his business in a respectful manner, and that's what I admire about him. Again, but he's so valuable. People don't realize he's been calling in the plays the last 4 or 5 years. And again, you can't run a play if you can't get it into the troops.
He's got to have the best audible on the team, then, right? Castle again off the right side.
He runs so hard. He runs so hard.
Dragging him over the 20-yard line in the 17. That's a Mountaineer first down. Hometown first down for Anderson Castle.
I'm gonna age myself here. And watch this guy. He takes the ball, good vision, and makes the first guy miss and just drags 2 or 3 Phoenix. Again, I'm gonna age myself here. He reminds me of John Riggins, and I'm aging myself because John Riggins is an older back, but Castle just runs so hard. I like watching him play.
He looks like a Pittsburgh Steeler down there. Look at him go inside the 10 again to the 8-yard line. Castle with that power game. App State doesn't have the fullback anymore. And Castle, I'm not saying that he's got the speed of a fullback, but he's got the speed.
Take a look at this. He just puts his shoulders down and just keeps his legs churning. He's so big and strong. He looks like a fullback, but he has the tailback speed. Now here's the thing, folks. Cam Peoples and Nate Noel, they are awesome backs. This is our 3rd-team back. He's on the depth chart where he needs to be, but he is a good back, and he doesn't miss a beat when he gets in during this time.
Castle Trying to get the corner into the end zone. Touchdown, Mountaineers. Ball game here at the Rock.
I tell you what, he would probably start for some FCS teams or some other Group 5 football teams because he's a talented football. You know, Coach Clark talked to us about no negative running plays. I've never seen Castle take a negative running play or have a negative running play.
His first career touchdown at App State. Some great blocking by Seth Williams to make it happen, too. He was getting congratulated on the sideline.
Those big offensive linemen, Luke Smith, Troy Everett. You got the second group in there, Seth Williams, Craig McFarland, Jaden Ramsey. Those guys are knocking folks off the ball. Take a look at this run here again. Handed, good vision. You're not going to tackle him. The first guy's not going to ever tackle that guy. Again, just hard running, legs churning, good vision, going north. And right here, I'm going to deliver the blow versus being tackled.
That's what I'm saying. That's where the fullback look comes, you know. He's leading with pressure with 39 seconds to go. Anderson Castle into the end zone, and that puts a cap on what ended up being a fine day. Some tense moments in there. I think in some cases, Avery, you can make the argument that you learn a little bit more in a game like this when you have some adversity to respond to. No secret that App State didn't like where they were at halftime. They came out and handled their business here in the second half.
And we talked about it being a close game in the first half, and then we said, okay, we anticipate ASU coming out, or Appalachian State coming out and playing a more focused football game in the second half, and that's what they've done. But they still have some things to work on. You can't start slow against a Marshall. You can't start slow against a Louisiana and Coastal Carolina. And, you know, we have those two teams back to back. So they've got some things to work on. But, you know, it will be great to be a Mountaineer on a Saturday night in Boone with this outcome, and Coach Clark will take it.
This will be the 19th consecutive win for App State in this series. And Elon has got opportunities to play other North Carolina teams. That was one of the things that Tony Trisciani pointed out, and it's not just FBS teams like the games that they've had on schedule with Wake Forest. They had one that was taken away due to COVID with Duke. They've got a game with Wake on their schedule, but they play other North Carolina FCS teams and then usually get matched up with a Southern Conference team now in the playoffs should they make it. So he sees a lot of value in playing these regional games from a recruiting impact, especially with what they do in North Carolina and in terms of building a roster. So don't think this will be the last time that Elon, should they be given the opportunity, will find their way to Boone again.
Now the final score may end up 44-10, but DJ, this is a good Elon football team. They've got young guys on the offensive line and defensive line. They've got good backs. They've got good linebackers. I'm not saying this year may be the year, but they're going to surprise a lot of folks in the Colonial Athletic Association. And I'm telling you, the next year they're going to be really good. Speaking
of hometown guys, Jake Chrisman, the pride of Elon, Western Alamance grad, getting a couple of carries here as we close down this one at Kid Brewer Stadium. That could be the final play of the game, and it should be. The final play of the game is Appalachian State is going to move now to 2-1 on the season, heading into their Thursday battle with Marshall, while Elon will fall to 1-2. They've got William & Mary opening up Colonial play next week. Lots of excitement for both of these programs moving forward from here. Final score 44-10. Avery Hall, your final thoughts on this one?
I tell you what, Appalachian came away with the win as expected, a nice margin as expected. A lot of things to work on, particularly around the running game. A lot of the pre-snap penalties they need to eliminate. Converting on third down was something that Coach Clark wanted to work on, and I think they'll still have to continue to work on that. I think, DJ, you've got the final stats. I think they ended up less than 30%, 35% in third down conversion, so those are things they'll have to work on. Elon has a very good football team. They're going to have a lot of success in the Colonial Athletic Association. They can run. Davis Cheek is poised. He makes great decisions. He has a strong arm. They're going to be very successful.
Cheek ended up with 225 in the passing game today on 22 of 36. Chase Bryce 19 of 25 for 293 yards and a touchdown. Appalachian passed for 341 yards in this game. Kid Brewer Stadium, happy place here at the Rock. Our final score once again, App State wins their first one at Kid Brewer by the final score of 44-10 over Elon. This has been a presentation of ESPN. An archive of today's game is available exclusively on the ESPN app. For Avery Hall, our spotter, Marin Jackson, our producer, Jerry Thomas, and our entire crew, this is David Jackson saying goodnight from Boone. Mountaineers win it 44-10 over Elon here at The Rock.